We're officially back at it. This is Boog Nice coming at you with the Articulated Comic Book Art Podcast. This is episode 39. We here. Got my man, Internet, and Rick Don. We're waiting for Mr. Colonel Crackers to join us, and we should have a couple other of our regular castmates stopping by. I don't know. Something's happening with Fabio's invitation right now. I don't know why he can't get in. This thing's been acting janky the past couple of weeks, but yeah, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. So just jumping right into what I got this past week. I actually got some of those DC. Well, I had them for a while, but I just opened them. But the DC Multiverse Lex Luthor figures that some people are using the jail suit body for. And surprisingly, this body is actually pretty cool. It's you could definitely make quite a few different jail goons. They'll all be white unless you paint the neckline and the arms, and then put on some other interchangeable head that is of a fellow of African American descent. But it's pretty cool. I got a couple of things planned that I want to do. I saw my man Pharaoh do something that was cool. I saw Jay Reeve do something, and the kid Giovanni do something. So yeah, open those, and I got a couple of things that were delivered that I didn't get that were like first attempts. So my Hot Toys Deadpool, they tried to deliver, but I wasn't around. I guess they'll try that again on Monday, and I think I should be getting the Rebel Tech Deadpool on Monday as well tomorrow. I picked up the Iron Fist figure from the Marvel Legends Dormammu Build-A-Figure wave. I picked him up at retail, and the Nico chick, which I didn't open yet. I opened Iron Fist, pretty much what I expected. Great figure, great mold to use for that figure, using the Pizza Spidey Bolt. Only gripe is that I don't like that the bandaged hands seem to pop out the socket pretty easily. I don't know what's up with that, but I haven't actually put on the other ones that are like translucent. That's supposed to be kind of representing his Iron Fist power. But I'm pretty happy with this figure overall. It's a really nice figure. And
yeah, I think that problem is kind of random because like my Iron Fist, the bandage hands don't fall out at all, but those powered hands, those fall out.
I see.
It's kind of like I don't know. It's kind of like luck of the draw, I guess, because my bandage ones stay in. But those glowing ones, just they may not fall off completely, but they'll like half fall off the peg. They'll be like barely staying attached. It's pretty annoying.
Cool. So yeah, I think that was all that I got this past week. That was all that I picked up. If I'm not mistaken, I don't know. Something else will probably come to me that I forgot about. What about you, John?
I actually just ordered Iron Fist and Nico today from Amazon, so I'm just waiting for them to like get in stock and ship and whatnot. But other than that, I didn't get anything. Just been working. Sad face.
Right.
How about you, Rick?
Shit. What did I get this past week? I got a couple of those figures from Rogue One. So I got Jin. I got that. I got a couple of troopers. I really didn't plan on buying them, but they were just in the store, and I really just was looking for other random stuff and couldn't find it, so I just ended up picking those up. Need that damn Lex Luthor with the prison suit body.
It's pretty cool. Like I said, I was pretty surprised when I saw pictures. I didn't really like the way the lower like abdomen area looked, but getting it out of the package and having it in the hand is actually one of the better figures that have come out of that DC Multiverse line. I mean, that line has been pretty fucking shitty, and but yeah, this is definitely, you can do some creative things A.C.B.A. wise with this body, no question about it.
Oh yeah, I definitely need a few of those, and one thing that people are pretty quiet about for whatever reason is I really want that Rick Flag figure, not just because he's a great army looking grunt, but because I've seen people put like Captain America heads on it, and it looks exactly like Duke from G.I. Joe. So I really want to get that. So when I get that ninja from Articulated Icons, it looks like Snake Eyes.
I want I want to see this Rick Flag figure. I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Oh yeah, let me find a picture for you right now. I found it once in the store, like before anybody else had found that wave in stores, and I was like, oh man, this thing's gonna sit anyways. I'll just pick it up some other time, and I've not seen that fucker since.
Yeah, I was out
Terrible.
with my man Dave BX at Toys R Us this weekend. He was looking for the Supergirl. I guess he's trying to complete the Doomsday or whatever. I could care less about that fucking Doomsday though.
Huh.
Is the Supergirl hard to find? I'm guessing she's one per case, huh?
Yeah, she's pretty new, so I guess people are really into getting it. You know, they're into those shows. Although I'm not a fan of that Supergirl show. They're really into the shows, and she's one per case, so
Oh, I know
she goes quick.
I know he doesn't give a fuck about the show. I think he just wants to build the Doom. Yeah, fuck that show. What's up with Fabio? You hear anything?
He's still having trouble getting in, unfortunately.
Oh, I see. I have seen people using this. I had no clue what it was from. Okay.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I really want that one to do that head swap and get myself a Duke. So like I said, when that articulated icons figure comes out that looks almost exactly like Snake Eyes, I can just have two members together. And it looks like a decent figure. It comes with a good amount of accessories. I mean the hips are atrocious, but you know what can you do? You know,
is whack.
DCUC hips are gonna piss you off forever. You know.
Yeah, that's a maybe photographer from the waist up or from the side. Just don't look.
Yeah.
At the
Oh yeah. No question. No question. You don't want no pan out shot with that figure right there. Terrible.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to restart. All right, we could talk about something in the interim before we actually get to the real topics, though. What else? What happened this week? I guess we
last week we never talked about the Star Wars Rogue One trailer. I think it was the final trailer. I think it was official trailer number 2.
Right. Yeah. It was the final trailer before the movie drops. So I guess we got to see. Well, we got to see like a bootleg version of the trailer that was fan made. That was fooling a couple of people. That had a lot of Vader at the end of it, and I think it was some cuts from like the video game or some shit, if I'm not mistaken. But the official final trailer had some Vader in it too, right? Yeah, I think.
Yes. Yeah, it had him walking like a badass towards director Krennic, so it was a nice little tease.
So I highly doubt that we're going to see that much Vader in the movie, but if what they did in The Force Awakens is any indication, we'll see him standing on top of a mountain for 5 seconds at the end of the movie. So,
I mean, I'm expecting him to honestly, like, just give orders to Krennic, show his dissatisfaction with Krennic, you know, not being able to build a Death Star on time or some shit, and then maybe have. I mean, this is just like. I guess this would be like a fan thing, but I would just love to see him beat the living shit out of all of the rebellion. Like, have like 200 troops versus Vader by himself on just like an isolated part of Jeddah, which is the Jedi Temple planet, and then just have him lay waste to all of those rebels. That would be amazing.
Yeah, that'd be pretty dope. I mean, I'm expecting, I'm hoping that we see some devastating losses to the rebel side, because I mean, none of these people have been a part of any of the movies that we know. So,
exactly.
I'm assuming that most of these people bite the dust. So,
I mean, it's already confirmed that one of the. I mean, I don't want to spoil who it is, but someone from the main like group of rebellions that are a part of Rogue One does die, and he let it slip during the. I believe it was during Star Wars Celebration.
Yeah, that'll be the last Star Wars movie he's in.
Yeah, exactly. For multiple reasons.
Yeah, right.
But I just want to see Vader like actually have a really good scene that justifies all of the fear that everyone has of Vader, like later on in the in the original trilogy and whatnot.
Yeah, definitely. They need that.
Just my personal opinion from knowing the films and and I'm not sure if anybody here watches the show Rebels.
I do.
I'm just gonna assume that his place in the film like is just as much as like it was in the show. Like, he's there, but he's whenever he's on the show, he's there, but he's not like doesn't have like a million scenes saying a bunch of cringe-worthy lines to like try to get you to like him or anything like that. He's just there being the evil, terrifying bastard that he is. And
Yeah.
I'm hoping that's just gonna be the case.
I see Vader as like the enforcer. So when he steps on screen, it's like, oh fuck, like, and then carnage assumes after. That's what I'm hoping at least. But I'm assuming that they're gonna probably keep it really tame because they don't want to, take away from what the rebels are actually doing. Because anytime that you're gonna have a big fight scene or a big set piece with Vader, you're gonna eat up a lot of screen time. So it's like I think that what they're probably going to do is just have him pitch, Krennic around a bit, and then maybe he kills Krennic towards the end of the film or something like that. But I'm hoping that it's more so I'm really disappointed in you, Krennic, and then Vader's like, you know what, I can't rely on this guy. I have to handle shit myself. So he goes directly after like the protagonist and just whoops the living shit out of them. That's what I'm hoping, at least. That would validate everything that we've seen.
Yeah, that's what I would want too, for sure.
Yeah, and they need to explain like the reason why Vader is so slow in A New Hope, but when we see him in Rebels and whatnot, he's very much so still powerful. It's like I understand that like when Star Wars first came out, it was limited by its inabilities in regards to like the technology wasn't there, but at the same time, it's like they can explain that now. It's like pretty much Rogue One is the 39 years in the making retcon of that one little problem with the Death Star. Because really, it's a story about, oh, the Death Star exploded because this person, Galen Erso, he actually created the fault in the Death Star. He's the one that created that little hole, so it could be blown up by someone if need be. He's the one that like purposely put that in there, and that's a retcon. So Rogue One literally is a retcon for that little glaring mistake on behalf of George Lucas. So they can probably do the exact same thing in terms of like Vader's movement.
I know exactly what you mean, man. I was just rewatching the original 3 just the other day, just for whatever reason, I was just in the mood, and they better, for the love of God, explain why Vader is just so slow, and so unagile. Because like you said, in Rebels he wasn't slow in any way.
Nah, and even when he was slow, it was more so because he's like trying to communicate his dominance. It's not even it's slow by choice, not slow by necessity. So it's like when he was like lifting up the building with one hand using the Force powers and whatnot, like they need to showcase that stuff and then explain, if by any chance, if he got critically injured during Rogue One, during this battle with the Rebels, why he is then slow in A New Hope versus Obi-Wan. It would make a lot of sense for them to explain that now. It's one of those opportunities
without a doubt.
that they should take advantage of. And then, since we're on the topic of Star Wars, how is everyone liking Donald Glover being cast as a young Lando Calrissian? Did everyone hear about that?
Oh yeah, that was incredible. I cannot wait to see that.
That is some of the best casting that Disney has done in a minute. Not gonna lie, and they're definitely developing a relationship with him, considering that he's going to be in Spider-Man: Homecoming as well. So it's
it was one of those castings where like you don't believe it because it's so it's so perfect that you're just like, there's no way they actually did it.
Oh yeah, it's too on the nose. But I definitely dig it though.
So everybody finished.
Oh yeah, no question. I'm a big fan.
We all finished Luke Cage. We talked about that last week though, for the most part, right? I think we done with Luke. We had enough for Luke Cage, huh?
Yeah, we pretty much discussed it too. It would be beating the dead horse at this point. Good, not
What,
great
what
in
was
my
that I heard
opinion.
about? Weren't they? Did I hear something about another sort of animated series that they were thinking about doing in terms of Star Wars?
I think that they said that Rebels is going to be going off by like season 5, but it's not like something that's been confirmed. But they're thinking about starting something after Rebels because these characters can't go on all the way up until A New Hope. There is a beginning, middle, and end with Rebels, but we just don't know where it leads yet.
Yeah, yeah. It's like John said. They've they originally seemed like they wanted to make it 5 to 6 seasons, but we don't really know what's going to happen. But it's very obvious that most of the characters on that show are going to die.
Unless my theory is proven right and they set up Ezra as being Snoke, which I think would be
I
hilarious.
I am 1,000% with your theory, and it definitely feels like that. I mean, especially with what the Grand Inquisitor
Oh
had to
yeah.
say to Kane.
Oh yeah.
You know
And then if you
that what? Yeah, yeah. No question, man.
if you do like a little face reverse thing, I guess it's like a face mirror, but like the undamaged side of Snoke's face, if you look at it and do a mirror image of it, it looks just like Ezra's. It even has this like bulbed out sort of nose, but and then
Yeah,
the eye
yeah.
color's the
Has the
same,
nose and
and
the cheekbones, the head shape. It's all very very similar.
and just to I guess this is now going to be the segment where it's dedicated to my little theory, but it's like how Luke is born on a planet with two suns,
Hmm.
like Ezra was born on a planet with two moons. It would be thematically it would be a perfect match.
Hmm.
It's like you have the chosen one of the good side on this side, and then you have the chosen one of the dark side on the other. It would be fucking perfect.
Yeah, and the it just more and more adds up. I mean, we've heard from the people working behind the scenes at Disney and from Star Wars many times plead and swear up and down like Snoke isn't a Sith. They're not the Sith. They're their own thing. They're the more on the evil side middle ground, and that definitely feels like what Ezra's going with because Ezra really is not a fan of the Sith, and he's not really looking like he's too happy with the Jedi either.
Oh no, no. He's angry with the Sith and angry at the Empire for a multitude of reasons, specifically with, the death of his family, and then he's angry with the Sith because, that's who he was fighting up against with the Inquisitors and whatnot. So it's like and right now especially, I think that it's a really transformative time for Star Wars, considering that I mean, spoiler alert if you haven't seen it, but it's in episode 3 of season 3 of Rebels, but like I believe it was the Sith holocron and then the Jedi holocron fusing together and then giving both Ezra and Darth Maul a vision to the future. And basically, it was like Darth Maul was looking for, I guess, vengeance, and he saw Obi-Wan, and basically at the end of the episode, Darth Maul is taking off to find Obi-Wan. So that could either be a movie in the making, or that's going to be like a comic book or something. But that's something that's going to be in use by Disney later on. So we're probably going to see that final showdown between those two, and I think it's only fitting. But in regards to Ezra, that dude has been going down the dark path for a while, and then with the season finale of season 2 for Rebels and Kanan getting blinded by Darth Maul, and it's just it's very thematically driven to send Ezra down this dark path.
Oh yeah, and at this point, now that we have now that you could pretty much write off the fact that Kanan would be the one to do it, but somebody's death is gonna send this kid over the edge.
Oh yeah, I think that what might happen is that Kanan ends up getting killed during some sort of battle, or maybe Ezra kills Kanan himself, and that's like his whole Mangekyo Sharingan moment. So I'm hoping that it's something like that, but I want to see Ezra get a better ending than just, oh, he was this really important character that just somehow died during the events of A New Hope or some shit. Like I want to see him become something greater. And then people have been speculating that like Benicio del Toro's character in episode 8 is Ezra, and I'm like, that doesn't make sense considering that you have Luke Skywalker and Ezra Bridger who are the exact same age. They were born a day apart.
Yeah.
Ezra was born on Empire Day, which was the day before Luke and Leia were born. So it's like it thematically it makes sense. And then if 'cause Snoke just is he's just deformed, and that could be due to a battle with somebody. Maybe that's a battle with Kanan. It could be through being corrupted by the dark side of the Force, which was mentioned in the I believe it was the Star Wars The Force Awakens anthology book or some shit like that. But it was like the book that came out before the film even. And basically it those reasons could be the reason why Snoke looks the way in which he does. But you know, it doesn't mean that he didn't once look like Ezra. And in fact, I believe the artist that is credited with the design of Snoke that we see in the film even said that he was once a good-looking boy with blue eyes. So it's like it just points to Ezra each and every time I read it over. But it's still not
no question. No question. And one of the other things too, again, it's not trying to take, what they may be just teasing for fans as like gospel, but when they started Rebels and they were trying to get people behind the show, they kept telling people and assuring everyone the people in this show are of some very big importance. They're not just a story
of course
of
not.
some rebels. They're someone. And just like you said, so many signs are pointing to Ezra being Snoke. And I'm really happy with how it's going so far. And just little by little we're seeing him descend more and more and more into anger. And
Yeah.
When these people make predictions, like the Supreme the Supreme Inquisitor did about people's future and stuff like that. When people use the Force to see something like that, it usually doesn't not happen. So
yeah. And then I believe that like another popular theory that's going around is like Ezra is going to basically be the in canon equivalent of Starkiller. And I don't think about that one though too much. I think that he's more so on the path of going towards this third party. He's like the third party candidate right now. So if he's waiting for the fall of the Empire, and then as soon as they fall, he's like, well, I guess I'm gonna have to fill that void.
Yeah, and I don't know if did you watch this current week's episode?
I haven't yet. But if you want to talk about it, go for it.
It's very incredible that you just said that he's the third candidate in between things, because basically he comes in and they find this like planet with a bunch of resources that they're there to steal, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a bunch of droids that are still active, that Roger, those droids. And Ezra kind of brings them to the conclusion that the clones and the droids both lost. So who won? There was a third party that ended up having to win. And it's just funny that he was just bringing up the point that there was two sides, and he brought up the medium that they both weren't winning and stuff like that. It was just crazy that you mentioned that middle ground.
I think that's like most likely Snoke's position. It's not the fact that the most popular theory right now is that Snoke is Darth Plagueis, and there's good reason for that. There's, Rey's staff, which looks exactly like Plagueis' staff from the extended universe. And just the fact that he knows so much about the Empire, and Snoke was said to be around during the rise of the Empire, but that still works for Ezra as well, considering that he was born on Empire Day. But it's between those two theories for me right now. I'm not subscribing to one or the other, but I'm sort of taking it all in as it goes along. But either one I would be satisfied with, honestly. But I think the Plagueis one would be a little too obvious at this point.
But in the show, Ezra's a hero currently, right?
Yeah, he's a protagonist, but he dabbles in the dark side a lot.
So he's like doing a little evil shit on the side, killing motherfuckers, or what?
Yeah. In the first episode of season 3, he's using an advanced form of Jedi mind control, essentially, and he basically operates I think it was not an AT-AT, I forgot the name of the vehicle, but he basically controls a stormtrooper operating a vehicle and then uses that person to shoot a bunch of other stormtroopers and then makes that person walk off of like a ledge. So it's he's pretty bad, man. Pretty bad.
Yeah, but like he said, he controls these troopers to basically kill themselves.
Excellent.
He's no joke. He is definitely no joke. Hey,
Yeah,
Fabio.
he's very, very powerful.
I'm glad you finally made it.
Fabio,
Ooh,
you're muted, by the way.
Fabio lives.
Actually trying to hop off right now and then switch onto my computer now that the conversation's saved or whatever.
All right.
Shit is convoluted. I don't know why it's not working.
Technology.
Well, I heard you guys were talking about Star Wars and I don't know shit, so I decided to stay quiet.
Oh, okay.
Oh man, then it's perfect that you were gone during this time. You know, we're just talking Star Wars.
Yeah, you could hop in and tell us what you got last week.
All right, give me 1 sec. Let me just end this call on my phone and then see if I can log in on my computer.
All right. But
So, but I'm still trying to understand this whole Ezra thing. So, but he hasn't been mentioned at all in any other Star Wars lore as far as the movies go, though, right?
no. He's strictly contained to Rebels, and then I guess the Kanan comic book that came out earlier this year, or maybe late last year.
So it would be not crazy to think that like an after credit scene could be like him or some shit in the Rogue One movie, huh?
I don't think so. I think that they're trying to keep Rogue One specifically not separate from what's happening in the sequel trilogy right now, but I think that they're very much so contained to everything that happens before A New Hope, and they're going to explain all of those things because, like I said, Rogue One is more so a retcon for George Lucas's decision to have that valve being opened that miraculously blows up the entire Death Star. It's
Right.
more so an explanation of that design of that faulty design. But in regards to like explaining Ezra or explaining anything that's happening in the sequel trilogy or even in Rebels or anything like that, I don't think that they're going to concern themselves with that right now.
Oh, what?
I don't. Have you watched Rebels book?
Not at all.
Oh man, you should really give it a go. And I always tell people too when they're first to watching Rebels, and I recommend it to them. The beginning was very slow, and it seemed like they were trying to figure out a footing for how they wanted to go with the series. So just bear with the beginning because I mean it all starts to really, at least in my opinion, pick up to where they wanted to set the tone for the show to be halfway through the first season.
What's the other animated show? There's Rebels, and what was the other one?
There's not another one going on right now, but before Rebels, there was Star Wars: The Clone Wars.
The Clone Wars. Okay. And was that in any relation to Rebels or what?
It basically was taking place in between Attack of the Clones episode 2 and what was the name of it? Not Revenge of the Sith. Was it Revenge of the Sith? Yeah. I try not to remember the prequels, but it was between that time. So episode 2 and episode 3.
Okay.
Yeah, and I know the other big question that they promise they're gonna answer. So I mean I think at that point it has to mean that she's still alive. But the question that everybody has with Ahsoka, if when she gave in to Darth Vader, was she trying to off herself, or was she just saying that she'd turn? And I think the fact that they went ahead and said that they're gonna tell us what happened to her is kind of like she lived, because I don't know if she was dead, then they would have just said she was dead in the show at some point, at least just from what I think.
Yeah, it's like I forgot the name of the creator, but basically he said that he left it like that very purposefully because they kind of have plans for Ahsoka down the line, but at the same time it's like it could be death or it could be something else. But I have to side with you on this one where I don't believe that she's dead. I think that she's just in hiding.
Yeah, no question. I completely agree.
But if they were to, I'm trying to think how they could tie in Rebels into Rogue One. Maybe mention like another faction of Rebels that are like somewhere else that are doing some stuff. But at the same time, it's like that could be anyone, because I know that Shem Syndulla, the father of Hera from Rebels, he's like leading his own faction of the rebellion on an opposite side of where Jeddah is. So it's like it could mean anyone. But I guess that is a Rebels tie-in technically.
Yeah, or you can have well, I mean, I guess that Easter egg would be too small, but you could have like Chopper in the background doing something.
That would be funny.
What's the release date for Rogue One again?
I believe December 16th or 15th or something like that.
I think November.
Yeah, Rogue One's not too close. They're saving that one for the same time slot as Force Awakens, so they're able to bang off of that.
Yeah, I remember. I remember they made a statement before that that they wanna take December for themselves at this point.
Yeah, that's going to be like their new May release date.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
So it's a good time of year for people to go out to the movie and shit. People are
Definitely,
home. People are on vacation, they're around and shit.
definitely. And then like January, February, and March, they're pretty much free, so they're able to get a lot of residual box office off of that because not too many good films are, that's not like summer movie season or anything. So you're able to get all of the box office that isn't going to be taken up by the mega blockbusters that are going to be released during summer.
yeah. At the very least, during that time, what you have to compete with is just very random holiday movies that don't particularly do too great, anyways.
Yeah, and then I mean, there's going to be like, what was the release date for Deadpool 2? I don't know if it's coming out in 2017, but I know that the original first Deadpool came out during February or whatever. So it's like now people are starting to catch on that, like, oh, these are viable times of the year. So
Yeah, this
if
this
it's
isn't
that's
the
gonna
this isn't the '90s anymore.
exactly.
This is actually a good position.
Yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
people went out to see Deadpool and as a couple for Valentine's Day. So yeah,
Oh yeah, Deadpool 2 is like in
Yeah, but half of
2018.
that was under false pretenses
Ah,
Well,
because it was billed as a romantic comedy.
I
well,
don't.
that's because maybe the girls weren't privy to that information, but the guys definitely were.
Yeah,
That's why I say half,
Yeah.
the better half. Well, I tapped out. It's not working on my computer. I don't know what's going on. It's just being bullshit.
Well, at
But
least you
it's
got on in some form.
Yeah. I can't use my fancy mic. However, I just gotta bear with using the crappy old headphones that come with the phone.
for first world problems, huh?
I know it's
Right.
terrible. If you guys could be in my shoes right now, my God.
This is
Um,
hell.
Anyway, I don't think I've really gotten too much this week, honestly. I did hang out with Chris Adams. I think it was last Wednesday. So he and I kicked it here at my house, had some beers, did some displays and stuff, took some photos. So shout out to him, and he also let me borrow his big Aliens dio that he got a little bit ago for quite a steal. I won't tell you how much he paid for it, but he and I know it's a fucking steal what he got for it. Yeah, I took some good photos with that. And while he was here, I think the day before he got here, I bought that Predator accessory pack that comes with that skinned body. It's got 2 blast effects for the Predator cannons, 3 skulls, and 1 xenomorph skull. And I
How much
believe
was
that's
that, by
it.
the way?
It's like $20,
I mean,
like $18.99, I think.
that's not too bad. I saw
Yeah.
some other places selling it for like 30. I was like, what the?
No,
fuck?
that's way too much. I mean, I got it at my comic shop, so I think it was like 20, $19.99 there, maybe $21.99. But I'm pretty sure the retail is like 18.
Okay, yeah, 20 is
It's
like the
pretty cool though.
ceiling.
I have 1 or 2 or something like that on hold, just in case I want some more in the future. But I picked up 1 in the meantime. Honestly, I think that's the only thing I really picked up this week, aside from Chris letting me borrow this dio, which I guess we kind of traded for because I gave him some Marines that I custom made with some random.
Some random what? Uh-oh. I think
Oh,
Fabio's
Fabio, we
audio is
cannot hear
dead.
you. I don't know what you've done.
That audio is dead. Well. Da-da-da-da-da-da.
There was apparently trading going on, and Fabio felt that it was fair and that there was a trade.
Indeed.
It
There was a
involved,
trade.
it
It worked
involved
out in his favor.
yeah, it worked in his favor. It involved an exchange that was a trade. It's genius.
Indeed. But I mean, I didn't really hear Kendall's reaction to the Donald Glover casting as young Lando Calrissian. Did you hear about that? Boog.
Boog, are you there?
It is now a two-man show.
My God. What
How
are
will
they?
we do it? So many expectations.
But yeah, back to Star Wars, man. I'm loving where this is all going. These are all the right directions.
Yes, indeed. I'm very happy as well. I don't know how they're going to handle Ahsoka. Maybe if she's still around, maybe Vader like finishes her off or something like that, or maybe Ezra finishes her off. I don't know, but it's all very purposeful at the moment.
You
Oh,
called?
yeah.
I was in the kitchen. Sorry.
Boom, he's
It's all
back.
good. We were asking if you heard about Donald Glover's casting as young Lando Calrissian.
I feel like I've been heard about this though. Didn't we talk about this a minute ago?
Yeah, it was announced officially like 3 days ago.
Okay. All right. So the internet already kind of knew, but they made the official announcement from Disney or whatever, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know that he has the swag for a young Lando, a young Billy D. Williams. And I only say that because of looking at him. I haven't really watched him in anything else, but looking at him on Atlanta, which I do watch, he's awkward. He's a little awkward,
Yeah, me and Emiya were just talking about that last night, and I think the way that they're gonna play him, as opposed to how Billy played the role. Billy is pretty much he's impossible to replicate charismatically.
Very much so.
So I think if they play Donald as more sleazy, as like a sleazy scumbag, I think it'd actually work pretty well. I mean, he's not going to be, like I said, he's not going to be the charismatic, super suave guy that Billy D. Williams was, because that's just impossible to replicate. But I think he's going to do very well in that role.
And this is supposed to be a movie just based on Han Solo and Chewie, basically, right?
Young Han Solo flick. Basically, they're also going to be tackling how Lando lost the Millennium Falcon to Han Solo. So it's going to be they're filling in the gaps, essentially.
We're not going to see much lightsaber action in that movie.
Oh no, I'm assuming that there's going to be none.
Yeah, I mean, for the simple fact alone that Han never saw or ever believed that a Jedi was an actual thing until.
Yeah.
Hello.
Oh, Fabio's back. Fabio, you were doing a trade that involved an exchange?
I don't know what's happening with the world right now, you guys. Clearly, the internet is rigged against me, much like the media versus Donald Trump. That's what's happening right now, because I see no other explanation.
You will accept the results if you win.
Yeah, I'll accept a loss if I win. That's exactly right. That's his reason.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening here, but the point is, we should probably find a new format for live recording this thing. But anyway, I'll just jump in where you guys are talking about, because that was pretty much the end of my haul. Is I just got the Predator pack and I hung out with Chris. I haven't really bought much of anything else. But as far as young Lando Calrissian, yeah, I mean, pretty exciting news. I think Donald Glover is probably the most excited about this.
Oh yeah.
I don't even know who they're doing for Han. Who's playing young Han? Is it anybody like we know?
It's I forgot the name of the guy, but he was on.
Are they going more like relatively kind of like Force Awakens, Rogue One?
He's a relatively unknown guy.
Alden Ehrenreich is the name of the actor, Alden Ehrenreich, and I know that he was in a Coen Brothers film recently too. So I think it was Hail Caesar was the name of the film. Let me see really quick just to verify.
I did. Oh,
yes.
You know what? I know exactly who he is. He was the cowboy guy.
The funny one.
Yeah. He was always typecast as the cowboy, and then he got cast in like a more serious movie, and he couldn't drop that Texas drawl that he had for pretty much every movie.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Coen Brothers movies are pretty hit or miss. I think that was somewhere in the middle. But yeah, I liked it. I mean, I'm someone who enjoys Burn After Reading, which a lot of people say is like their worst movie.
It's not their worst, but it's not their best either.
Well, I've seen some reviews call it burn before watching, so it's about that level. It's one of my favorites. I thought Hail Caesar was pretty good, and I did like him. He kind of looks like the kid from Chronicle, the kid that turns evil, Dane DeHaan.
Oh
They
yeah.
look a little similar, but I can buy him as a young Han Solo. I mean, he was good in that movie.
And talk
Um,
about an underused guy in Hollywood, honestly. Dane DeHaan is like he's really fucking good actually. I think that his work in Chronicle was excellent. It's just really a shame that he had to play Harry Osborn in that god awful Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Oh
I was
Jesus!
just mentioning that, man. He's someone that I actually really liked from Chronicle, and then to my surprise, he was in that Metallica concert movie that came out in like 2014, I think. He
Mm-hmm.
that was like a concert movie slash the narrative that goes along with it, and he's like their roadie or something, and he's on a mission to find some shit as the concert goes on. And then yeah, Spider-Man happened, and sadly, I thought I was sad because I thought that might have been the end of his career. I thought that movie might have fucking put him in the grave or whatever. But I'm glad to see that he's actually in another movie coming up. I think it's a Gore Verbinski film. It's
Mm.
called The Cure for Wellness or A Cure for Wellness, something like that.
Oh
And
yeah, I heard about that one.
goddamn trip. So I mean, I watched the entire trailer and I'm like, okay, this movie looks great. I think I'm gonna watch it. And then I saw in the last flashes, I finally recognized Dane DeHaan, and I'm like, oh, I'm in. This kid is back. Thank goodness.
Yeah, he's I mean, if they ever decide to whitewash Shakira, they could easily just typecast him as Tetsuo, and it would just work like just fine.
Typecast him as the moody kid. He's either
Yes,
cast as like a young good kid gone bad, like supervillain level, or a young kid gone bad, like gun in a backpack to a high school level.
oh my God. Yeah,
That's
he's definitely the school shooter.
right, exactly. He's got that look thing. But
Definitely. Those eye bags.
Him as Tetsuo would be very good.
Yeah.
exactly.
If they decide to go
Back
the
to
whitewashing route.
this other guy. Back to this other guy, whatever his name is, from Hail Caesar. He was
Alden
actually
Ehrenreich.
one of the more likable characters from that whole movie. One of the ones that you were excited to see because his sort of arc was pretty hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how gruff they're gonna make the young Han Solo character, but I could see him pulling him off, I guess. And as far
And
as
I
Lando,
think that they,
Donald Glover's great, man. He's one of the most talented dudes of this generation. So to see him in something big that's gonna really put him over the top in popularity is obviously something good.
oh yeah, his life in terms of Comic-Con presence is now ruined forever. I believe that the director of Young Han Solo film is even said that like I do apologize that your Comic-Con experience is now fucked for life. But
Yeah.
I can't wait to see how they're going to handle him with a cape though, because that requires a lot of swagger to pull it off. And then are they going to give him like the press perm hair and everything, or are they going to give him that Jerry curl? Like what's happening?
He's got to have the stash for sure.
100% has to have the stash. I don't know about how they're going to be handling the hair, and I just think that that's so funny that in the Star Wars, in Star Wars lore, that we have this planet where you can get a Jerry curl. That's amazing. I think that that's one of the coolest things about the Star Wars world. Like it's just a beautiful thing.
Yeah,
I mean,
there's a evil cantina right next to your local Jerry curl spot. It's incredible.
Oh, exactly. You can get your blue milk, get your Jerry curl. It's all good.
It's genius.
There's another big bit of news in movies this week, and that was the whole Ryan Reynolds and Deadpool and Tim Miller
yeah.
thing. About
Yeah,
that?
that's a little. I don't know if it's something to seriously be worried about, but creative differences is a very blanket term. We don't know what they were creatively differing about, but
I could elaborate a little bit. I saw a video from I think Emergency Awesome, and he was talking. I don't know where he gets his information from, but it's usually pretty reliable and reasonable. But what he's saying was the big difference that they were having was that Tim Miller wanted to go a slightly more serious tone with Deadpool 2 and bigger action set pieces, probably a bigger CGI budget. He just wanted the sort of classic route of making the sequel a little bit bigger and better, a little bit more bloated. A lot of people might argue too. So Ryan Reynolds was differing because he wanted to make Deadpool 2 a little bit more of a comedy, almost like a buddy cop comedy, more so even than the first one. So he was trying to go for more of that, almost back to his Van Wilder roots. Like, he comes from that sort of that raunchy humor was the term he used. He wanted to make it more of a raunchy comedy.
That's a bad idea.
Exactly. That's what I thought too. I'm like, yeah, Tim Miller, you should have gone with the fucking director, the guy who's actually making the movie. I mean, Ryan Reynolds has a lot of pull because of how hard he fought to get the movie made and how much people liked him in the role. And
Well, he's the star of the fucking movie too. So
that's
Yeah,
the
he was
star. And like,
championing for that thing
it's
for
attached to
ages.
character. Like RDJ is attached to Iron Man and Hugh Jackman's attached to Wolverine. So he's got a lot of pull. And unfortunately, I think he might be making, I mean, we'll see. Time will tell, but this could be kind of a bad call, in my opinion.
I
Yeah,
think that this is a terrible call. I mean, because
at the
what's
end
the
of the
trajectory? I'm sorry to interrupt, but like, what is the trajectory of the X-Men film franchise right now in terms of Deadpool's presence? They already gave us the guarantee that we're going to be getting Cable. So Cable is a setup for X-Force. So if they're going to try and move this into a more comedic thing, it's not going to make X-Force look like the badass team of dark ops that they are. It's going to just be like, oh, okay, well, here's this character. He was kind of in this raunchy comedy. I don't know if X-Force is going to have that same sort of tone or not. It's like they do need to have like a different beat in order to introduce those characters.
Just to interject on the note of Cable, that's another thing they differed on was who they thought the ideal Cable should be. Like, I think Tim Miller was I think he was envisioning Kyle Chandler, who I think was in Super 8. He was like the sheriff in Super 8. A few other things.
Okay. Kyle's
That's right.
done a lot of things like Friday Night Lights, Bloodlines,
Right.
if people have seen that, which has Ben Mendelsohn, the guy that's playing director Orson Krennic. That's a very good show on Netflix if anyone's ever trying to binge something. But I see him as a Cable, but not really. At the same time, I think just get Ron Perlman. Like it's that casting that's so fucking on the nose that people will be like, oh, of course that was who they were going to pick. I mean, that's Cable.
Right, and that's I think what Ryan Reynolds was leaning more towards was I think Kyle Chandler is a little bit better at playing more of an everyman character. He's not like a total like you don't see him as a complete badass sort of guy.
Yeah.
And I think Reynolds was looking more in that direction, like Ron Perlman or Stephen Lang, that like real grizzled old guy look, which I think is better for Cable. But
Definitely.
I think Reynolds mostly wants it to play as more of a foil for his more raunchy side that he wants to go with in Deadpool 2 for his character.
I mean,
yeah, I think the biggest problem is that when you have and it really makes me wonder if who was really being the unreasonable one or not, because when you're a director and you tell the company, yeah, the first one I did was so good that we need to up the budget, we need to do this and we need to do that, and the star's not agreeing with you and you're asking them to spend more money, it's like you're asking to be let go. Like there should have really been I don't disagree. I think Ryan's take on it being a buddy cop is too far. I mean, that's what Cable and Deadpool are when they're together, but not in that sense to where it's what their story is always going to be. And I just think that he must have just not wanted something must have also went wrong. There must have been some crazy argument, because for you to ask the studio to spend more money and completely disagree with the star of the film, it's like asking not to do the film.
I mean, that's a good. Ryan Reynolds is the person who's a little bit more attached to the project, so I maybe they feel like they could find just about any other director to fit what they feel is Ryan Reynolds' vision. I mean, it's almost like what happened with Ant-Man. They had I think that Marvel had a very specific vision for where they wanted Ant-Man to go, and Edgar Wright was working on Ant-Man long before that vision was ever in place. And so by the time came to make Ant-Man, some things had to get changed around to suit what Marvel had put before, and that ended up making Edgar Wright walk away. But we still ended up with a good movie. It just wasn't
it would have been better if they did what Edgar Wright was trying to do, though, because I don't know if anyone has seen like Avengers Earth Mightiest Heroes, but that episode where it introduces Scott Lang as Ant-Man and how he like infiltrates Hank Pym's his laboratory, steals the suit, starts robbing places just to pay for his daughter's ransom, essentially. Like that shit is infinitely cooler than what we got in the film. I don't hate Ant-Man, but at the same time I definitely don't love it.
Yeah, it's definitely the most kid friendly in my opinion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have really rose tinted glasses when it comes to Ant-Man because I absolutely love Paul Rudd.
That's
Um
funny. So does he.
and and I don't disagree though that I'm sure I would have probably liked Edgar Wright's vision more so just because I'm a big Edgar Wright fan, so I have no doubt in my mind I would have liked his iteration more
I mean,
without.
definitely some influences still in it. I think one of the things I noticed the most was when Michael Pena's telling him, Scott Lang about the person that told me this, who told me this from this other person, all that other
Oh
stuff.
yeah,
Oh,
That's
that's a super Edgar.
but
exactly.
you
It's
want to know what's like the
Sean-
sad part about Ant-Man is like that's everyone's favorite part. We were
Exactly.
talking at the same time.
That was entertaining.
Was that Pharaoh?
I said that was entertaining. It was pretty funny, actually.
And that was
Yeah,
again the things that were sort of left over from Edgar Wright that they kept, and rightfully so, because it ended up being one of the best parts for sure. But I would have just liked to see more of that. What more could we have gotten out of that style of humor had Edgar Wright stayed on? And what really was it for Marvel to impose on him that made him walk away? Like, what was that final thing that made him realize, oh, this is just too much that I got to adhere to while still trying to make the movie I want to make? I wonder what it really was. It could have been the Wasp stuff, connecting to that, or obviously the Avengers stuff at the end, the Civil War lead up and all that.
not sure. Not sure.
But it's a movie. I mean, this is all to say that we still ended up with a pretty decent Ant-Man movie despite all the drama, and it was pretty significant drama, like definitely way bigger than what's going on with Deadpool.
I don't know. I'm a little concerned about Deadpool now. I don't particularly really like Ryan Reynolds, even though I do feel like he was probably one of the. This was obviously a better match for him than Green Lantern. You know what I'm saying? But but I don't really particularly like Ryan Reynolds anyway. So for some reason, he seems like he could just be a dickhead, and it was probably really his fault. I don't know why I get that impression, but
Well, a lot of people say he's exactly like Van Wilder in real life. But that's actually another thing that reminds me. Another big thing about losing the director Tim Miller is that Tim Miller was actually the president of the special effects studio that was in charge of Deadpool 1. So they were really in charge of creating the look of the movie and all that stuff. And so losing that is kind of throw things into a loop.
yeah, definitely. 'Cause I thought the action and all of the gunplay and all of that stuff was really well done. So if they want if they want to stray away from that and just do more jokes, that's a bad idea, man.
That's literally the exact trajectory of the comic Deadpool. How we ended up with a semi-serious, or rather a serious but semi-comedic character who was a total badass who kicked ass, killed a ton of people, and did it in a very stylish fashion. And now we have this self-referential comic character that's just almost just like it was born out of the quote-unquote random internet generation of like, OMG, that's so random, just saying things about chimichangas and whatnot.
You know what they
Exactly.
You know what they needed? They needed Deadpool to. Well, I'm saying it like we know for sure that it's going to be shit, but I think that the direction that they needed to go with Deadpool 2 was sort of in the same vein as that that first Uncanny X-Force run. I thought Deadpool was written like spot on, but it was
Oh yeah.
very serious. The book, like all the other characters and but his comedic timing in that book and the jokes in that book was just was really good. So they needed that type of thing with a really serious older looking Cable in my opinion. But we'll see.
God, who did that run? Was that Ed Brubaker or was that
Oh, that was
Rick Remender? I think.
yes, that's who it was.
Yeah, Rick Remender is amazing at writing, but yeah, that team itself is a very interesting team. Having that whole relationship between Psylocke and Archangel and Phantom X and
I just feel like
Deadpool and Wolverine, it's a great team.
everybody's characterization in that book was spot on. I thought everybody was written really well, and Deadpool wasn't overdone. He wasn't, it wasn't overbearing. It was great. He was funny as fuck, but he was still getting down and putting in the work too. So
Well, the great thing about Deadpool is you really don't have to have a strong story. You just don't have to have one. You can pretty much.
But if the studios are relying on that, I think that's going to like trouble a lot of people. That's going to be a little worrisome because ultimately,
the average Deadpool fan, in my opinion, is still a casual fan of comics.
Yeah, I agree.
Right, so I don't really see a lot of people saying this was a bad movie. I had my problems with Deadpool, the first movie. I liked it a lot, but I had my problems with it. But I think that with the direction that they're trying to go in, I don't think they're going to actually hurt the movie at all. I think the only thing that could possibly hurt the movie is if they take away the majority of the action. If it's hardly action and just a bunch of fucking jokes and him walk around being silly, then I can see where the movie would be pretty bad. But if he's just in there whooping ass and just talking shit, I don't even see where it's going to be a big problem.
I think the number one thing that needs to be said at this point is that regardless of all of our feelings on it, this movie is going to do incredibly well.
Yeah,
and the masses are going to love it. Whether we have our problems with it or not, people are going to eat this shit up.
I mean, the marketing campaign really put this movie over the top, and I can't wait to see that when the movie comes around. Yes, it was super effective. It was a very great marketing campaign.
Well, it'd be nice. Excuse me. It'd be nice to hear from the director, but I doubt he'll really say what happened anyway.
Yeah, if we get a few salty tweets here and there, maybe we'll find out what his.
Get a real story like 2 years from now.
We'll get it after the movie releases.
Right after the movie releases, we'll get it.
Well, what I wanted to do was this, and this guy wasn't supposed to be doing this. This guy was supposed to be doing that, and that's the difference. Like, no.
Oh, it's like that whole Ed Norton thing with the Hulk.
Yep. God, he's so salty.
Oh my God,
I was a little salty. I didn't know if I bought him as Banner, but I liked his Hulk a whole lot more than I liked Eric Bana's Hulk.
Well, that's compared to Eric Bana. Like Eric Bana is, oh my God, that film is so horrifically awful. That was directed by Ang Lee, I believe, too. So
yeah, Ang Lee.
That was a real tragedy of a film. I mean, it's not watchable.
But the Incredible Hulk wasn't bad. I mean, it had its parts where it was kind of like, ugh. But I mean, it really wasn't bad overall. I didn't like the look of Abomination, but
the Norton film was not bad at all. I didn't think it was shitty as what a lot of people said.
So it's hard to really blame it, you know. I just remember it was so exciting seeing it in theaters because Iron Man was still in theaters at the same time. So it's like, holy shit, 2 Marvel movies in theaters at the same time. That's unprecedented in 2008 or whatever.
Yeah,
that's what you think about, man.
Yeah,
what were you thinking about when you went to the movies? Not like, oh, these are going to be good movies. Hey, we got 2 Marvel movies in the same theater. Let me go see them.
It's fucking afterthought, but I mean, yeah. But
I mean, there's no question that the 2 saltiest people in the world right now are Terrence Howard and Ed Norton. They have
Terrence Howard. You know what? When you look back at
Terrence Howard, the guy's winning Emmys like crazy on Empire, isn't he?
Yeah,
but
a show that's viewership is falling with like every episode.
When you look at his face, you look at some of the artwork. Terrence Howard did look like Rhodey, though.
I agree.
Yeah, he did. He did.
His persona is just kind of like.
Yeah, he's not like a alpha male though to play like Rhodey.
Definitely.
Yeah, he's very soft spoken.
He's bitch made. We can say it, bitch made.
Pretty much.
What up?
I mean, every single spouse that he's ever had has had multiple domestic violence suits against him. So he's definitely a bitch.
Oh, he's a woman beater. Huh?
Yeah, he's the same character from Hustle and Flow.
Yeah,
I told you, bitch. I told you.
Everything he plays, man.
I told you to come around here with my money, bitch.
I ain't gonna let you play me like that again.
My name is Terrence Howard.
Let me get one of them suits, man.
Where's Ludacris? I'm gonna beat him in the bathroom again, man.
Oh my God! that scene alone was worth the price of admission. Honestly,
right, so
that was one of the.
We're never gonna have Terrence Howard as a guest on the podcast.
Definitely
sorry,
not.
Terrence.
Definitely not.
I'm pretty sure we just burned that.
On
Sorry about that,
Empire,
TJ.
like they just said on Empire though, man, he's doing the damn thing though, man.
Oh
He's
yeah, I
getting
mean,
paid, but
I'm a watcher. I'm a watcher of Empire, and I think the show's all right. I don't think they know where they're going. It's kind of like
No.
Empire has the same problem that Power has, and it's a show that wasn't supposed to ever go this long.
No.
"Whoops,
You can't really
this
say
is
that.
new."
You really going into the third season. I mean, I don't think Empire was supposed to end in 2 seasons.
I mean, I don't agree with that, Rick. I mean, you got fucking novellas and fucking daytime soap operas that have been going for since I was a fucking kid. You know what I'm saying?
General
So
Hospital.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that they should.
I mean, it is what it is. People eat that shit up. Empire is very modern. It's very, it's with the times. I don't think it's a great fucking show by any means, but it is what it is.
Like I said, I'm a viewer of Empire, and I just don't I don't even think that it's like I wasn't necessarily saying that the 3 seasons that it's on right now was too long. I was more so saying that there's obviously much more than these 3 seasons coming. Like I'm sure there's going to be up to like 6 or 7 seasons, and just to me, this story of this family and their drama and what's going on with them, to me should have been like 4 or 5 seasons at most, and you can very much tell that this isn't going to stop at 4 or 5 seasons.
Well, you don't really. I think what they're doing with Empires, I think they're pretty much writing it like a small bit at a time out. I don't really think that they have 5 seasons written, 6 seasons written. I really don't, because what the show does is it hides the same like story over and over again. It just hides it in different factors. I mean, they really haven't done anything new in Empire since it started.
Pretty much.
Every character deals with some death, whether it's facing their own death or someone else's death, or some problem where they can't perform, or they just feel like the audience or their audience doesn't like them anymore, or face losing business, someone else regaining the business. It's been the same shit. I mean, over and over again. So I don't really see them, writing this thing out far. Not to mention, I think the creator was he's homosexual. And I think that, to be honest with you, the main focus was to make the homosexual character the outward character. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and they had to spin you into that. To get people behind, I forget his name, whatever the lion got.
Jamal.
Right. Because he's a homosexual in real life, isn't he?
Right, yeah. But to be honest with you, not saying that none of those people are talented, but as music goes, he's probably, out of the main cast, the most talented.
Oh, no question. And it's really, I always feel bad for the people that are in the show. I didn't know the person that came out and said it was a Diddy's son. Diddy and his son were on a radio show, and apparently Diddy's son was supposed to play Hakeem, and the only reason he didn't was because when Diddy looked over the contract, apparently the studio doesn't allow them to make music while they're doing the show on their own. They cannot make any music for themselves, and it kind of sucks that these actors they can't actually do anything with their careers now other than just the show.
When you say Diddy's son, you're talking about I'll Be Sure's son, right? That one?
No, I'm talking about he's like 17 or 18 right now.
Yeah, I think you're talking about the light skinned one though, right?
The one that was in Dope.
Yeah, I am talking about that one. Yeah, the one that was in
one that was in Dope is actually not even Diddy's son, his biological son. That's actually I'll Be Sure's son. You're probably a little too young to remember.
Yeah.
I'll Be Sure's son, man.
His name is Quincy Brown.
Quincy.
Yeah, it's Quincy. Yeah, it's Quincy and
Rick.
Mm-hmm.
I'll Be Sure was the dude in New Jack City that got stabbed in the hand.
Right.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
I hate this pretty.
I'll Be Sure.
You look at I'll Be Sure, dude. I'll Be Sure has like the most prominent unibrow in the game, though. Like this dude's unibrow is amazing.
I'll Be Sure was
all of the bitches though, man.
Oh yeah,
years. Man.
Oh yeah.
He was a pretty motherfucker back in the day. He had all of the.
He had all the reactor in his hair, though. All of that activator, all of it.
Man, listen.
Yeah, but that's the actual son.
If you'd have been G Money or I'll Be Sure, you'd have got all the chicks, man.
For sure.
Yeah, they were just detailing the fact that, like you said, that dude is really talented, but he can pretty much never make any money or do anything until the show's over. Sucks.
But you know what though? The crazy thing about it is no one would have cared about him if the show wasn't around though.
That's very true. That is also very true.
So right now, I think career-wise, I'll tell you this much. He is going to survive that show until it's over. He ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, he definitely not getting killed off of no show.
We're not getting rid of him. So
he's got the young girls, so they watching that shit. That's a huge part of the audience of that show.
Man. Girls love to watch that show and then think to themselves like, yeah, I could turn him if I had the chance. I could do it.
Right.
I know it. I know he'd give it in.
But we got sidetracked like a motherfucker. I forgot what we was even talking about.
I don't even know.
We were talking about people being salty, Edward Norton and Terrence Howard.
Oh, right.
Yes.
Okay. I would have liked to actually see Edward Norton play the Hulk in the main Marvel universe, though. But I don't particularly care for this other guy. What's his name?
Ruffalo.
Mark Ruffalo.
I mean, I don't hate him. I think he's done all right, but I always picture Banner as a little more nerdy. Like Mark Ruffalo's he's got too much swag for the Banner role. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
Well, I love Mark Ruffalo.
To bring it back just to the original topic, the reason both of them got let go is basically because they wanted too much money. I mean, Terrence Howard, I think, made more money on Iron Man 1 than Robert Downey Jr. did. And if he didn't on that one, he was definitely asking for a lot more for Iron Man 2, which is why they decided to recast him.
He wanted to be matched with Robert Downey at the very least.
That was the thing. He didn't.
They were not
Robert Downey.
And Edward Norton,
he wasn't wrong in asking for that though either, though, man. You got to understand.
Not at that point, because Robert Downey Jr. was that was his comeback shit. He wasn't like
he was still drugged up.
Howard had just come off an Oscar
with Jack Nicholson and Michael Keaton.
Say it again.
I said it was just like Jack Nicholson and Michael Keaton.
Right.
Definitely.
I mean, they marquee Jack Nicholson in the movie. His name shows up first. Like, I mean, even though Michael Keaton is Batman and he's the title character, I mean, it's still like, dude, I'm Jack fucking Nicholson. Like, please.
Yeah, even then they knew that Batman's villains are better than he is.
Yep.
But the thing was with Terrence Howard is that he had the grounds to negotiate because he had just come off an Oscar win for, I think, Crash that year or the year before. So he had that pull, and Marvel at the time wasn't as big as they are now. They definitely didn't have that Disney money. So if they wanted to continue their franchise in a cost-effective way, they just could not bring him back. And the same goes with Edward Norton, because Edward Norton is notoriously difficult to work with as far as, whenever he gets cast in a movie, he always either does script rewrites or has a hand behind the camera so he can give himself more screen time, or rather in the editing room. So he's difficult to work with in that sense. So if we wanted I think he would have asked for too much money compared to the role that they were going to give him moving forward, as far as, his role in the Avengers and his role in the upcoming Ragnarok. He's not really like a main character anymore. They're very much making him a supporting character. And I think either Norton wouldn't have been okay with that, or he would have been asking for too much money for that particular role.
But I don't understand why these guys go out and get these roles and don't understand where their character placement will be. Like, you gotta like you play Hawkeye, you gotta understand, dude. Hawkeye ain't never gonna be
right.
Jeremy Renner.
Happy to be there.
Jeremy Renner was like complaining about that earlier too. He was like, "Well, I'm really dissatisfied with Hawkeye's presence in Avengers 1." And I'm like, dude, you're the bow and arrow guy.
Right.
You can do it more time, but I mean, controlling the screen ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
I said that more in terms of how he was possessed for half the movie. He didn't really get to be himself, so to speak.
Yeah, and then they tried correcting that in Avengers: Age of Ultron, and we saw how that happened. Like, that was not I did not like Avengers 2 at all. There were very few redeeming qualities. I think that the whole scene where they're on, the Barton farm or whatever, like, I didn't enjoy it.
I didn't like that at all. That was stupid. I would have rather Hawkeye to just be this mysterious, like, badass and like whatever. I don't want to see the human side of fucking Hawkeye. I don't give a fuck about
It
that.
was literally only set up for that bait and switch at the end so that Quicksilver's death would be like a gasp moment, but you didn't really, so who cares? But overall, I mean, I thought it was a decent flick, but yeah, there was those few things that just seemed plot devices they seemed too obviously like plot devices, you know?
It's the shit that we mention all the time about you gotta have a strong villain, and Ultron was fucking Deadpool. He wasn't tough enough. He wasn't diabolical enough. He wasn't like scary at all. He was like fucking silly, you know? So,
no, and the worst part is they got one of the most menacing actors to not sound menacing.
Right, yeah. He's like, oh, I'm Ultron. He's the fucking Jerry Seinfeld or some shit.
Father, I'm not gonna let you take me down, Father.
The whole thing.
I think they ran into the problem with the fact that they needed him to mirror Tony Stark.
Yeah, that was
the biggest thing, because they needed him to act just like the person who created him.
Exactly.
I mean, so that kind of fucked it up.
Yeah, he was a little too quippy, you know.
Yeah, definitely. But
see, the good thing about it is they can always redeem Ultron. They can always bring Ultron back and just make him something entirely different.
Sure.
Yeah, but at the same time, they did already say that. I mean, during that one scene between him and Vision, it was like, "Oh, so you're the last one." So
but he could have destroyed it, but that doesn't mean that the actual energy that is Ultron or the artificial intelligence isn't out there somewhere.
Yeah, right.
But at the same time,
Ultron, right? Yeah, that's pretty much the plot device for Ultron in the comics. He always finds a way to.
Yes, and I am in agreement with you both. But Vision did shut him out of the internet, so they isolated Ultron's energy source and Ultron's intelligence, his AI, into one body. That was the thing. So they explained it without. I mean, they could easily just say no. He had his subconscious stored in another, hard drive or some shit. They could easily do that. But I'm saying for the sake of
they left this enough. It was a very Red Skull-esque death for him. They could bring him back in.
Exactly. Red Skull, he could show up, but not. I don't think that they're going to bring back Hugo Weaving.
I think
Hugo wants nothing to do with the Marvel.
Yeah, we discussed that. Yeah. He said
it was just an article saying he was considering doing it.
I heard that too. Recently, he said he's like, oh yeah, it wasn't that bad. Now that I think about it,
he's trying to get.
Now that I see everybody makes a lot of money and look
exactly, right. He's trying to get back.
The thing is, ain't nobody calling him for a part right now.
Exactly. I think like the last time that he actually was working in a prominent role was V for Vendetta. So it's time to get the money, man.
Megatron. Hey, what's crazy is this? How you don't want to play Red Skull, but you were Smith in 3 movies?
Yeah.
And then what's crazy was by the third movie, you was just a parody of yourself. Like, get the fuck out of here,
basically.
Man.
No, the third movie, he was just CGI.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Moving right along, because we got a lot to talk about today. So
what's the next topic?
Comic movies. Let's talk about some of these new trailers that dropped. First off, let's talk Logan. What'd you guys think of it?
Love it.
I wasn't. I wasn't. It didn't knock me out of my seat or anything. I don't know. I'm not. I don't know if I'm invested into another Wolverine movie. I don't know.
I didn't like either of the two that they had. So
you know what? I didn't mind the last one. There was certain things about the last one that I enjoyed. The thing that fucked up the last one to me was the whole Silver Samurai shit. I couldn't deal with it.
Yes, that was the dumbest part, easily.
No, I think what fucked me up was with the last movie, even though we're talking about the current movie that's coming, but with the last movie, he just took entirely too much damage without any powers, man.
Oh yeah.
Like he was hey man, listen, I'm telling you guys I don't know how many of you ever caught a bullet. I've been shot a couple times, man. And I'm telling you, 5 bullets, you ain't nowhere in hell you're gonna keep charging and fight anybody.
Nah.
Like it's not going to happen. And I know we're talking about a comic movie, but once he lost his powers, man, 2 bullets would have took his ass right up out of there.
Oh yeah. Especially at his age.
I would say even if he's not dead, he definitely would not have wanted to get up and fight anybody.
Right.
Sure.
No question about that. He would have been drained of energy. That's it.
I mean, the first one we can all agree is absolute garbage, and I actually.
Yeah.
I didn't end up seeing the full movie because you guys remember when it first came out, there was a leaked copy of it that was going around before the special effects were added. So I actually watched that version. I think I might have been like homesick from school, whatever. I watched it and I realized, wow, this is fucking terrible. I don't even think the special effects have anything to do with it. This is just a garbage movie. So I never
The
actually saw it.
fact that they introduced Deadpool and they sew his mouth shut,
Right.
that was like, okay, and we're done.
Cool by name only, really. And just
Yeah.
The best thing about
they were
the
being
first one was
over with.
montage. The beginning when they were with the credits with them fighting in every war. I think that's like probably the best part of that movie to me.
I agree with that.
Best part of the movie was the credits when it ended.
Yeah,
Hey,
just for me personally, from seeing the trailer, it's just I need to keep reminding myself that this isn't Old Man Logan.
Yeah, that's like the only way that you can watch it.
We're not gonna get it. You know, that's it. This is Marvel's piece still. So many characters that are important to the Old Man Logan story can never be used. So just get over it. Is what I'm trying to tell myself.
Out, Clint out, both children out. Like
Yeah,
it's all
everything. Any other character pretty much is out, and so I'm going in open minded.
I will say that there's one thing that I am very tired of with Fox, and hopefully this is the last time that we have to worry about it, because I'm really hoping that they just reboot the X-Men franchise entirely. But I'm so tired of these like SWAT-looking villains. Like the Reavers should not look like SWAT.
Well,
It's just annoying.
but they going to really make the Reavers look like these mechanical, like crazy dudes? I mean, I don't know.
I think it would be okay. Here's what I want out of a Logan film, honestly. And if they give this to us in any sort of facet, even though I know that they won't, it would be amazing. Mad Max Fury Road with Wolverine.
Yeah,
that's what I'm hoping.
I don't think even Fox knows, because I don't understand what they're gonna do with this X-Men franchise anymore.
Well, I can tell you what they're doing with Wolverine right now. They're blending Old Man Logan with Death of Wolverine, and they're gonna kill off Hugh Jackman at the end of this film.
You think so?
Apocalypse, just such a terrible film.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, man! That thing. I finally watched it on Plex, man, and I'm like, Jesus.
Yeah, it was bad.
Terrible film.
At least Starlock looked okay.
Critically, terrible. The box office was just whatever on it. So I really do wonder, like, what their mindset is right now. I don't think they were counting on Apocalypse being such a shit, and so I don't know, man.
Are there even any movies announced by them?
It's the villain. Apocalypse looked like shit. He sounded like shit. It was thing. The villain was bad.
What we need to get to be Apocalypse is let's call up Poe Dameron.
Yeah, that was a bad cast. Bad casting decision.
I think that what Fox should do is Fox should relinquish all of their rights. Pretty much. Like seriously, I think they should sell them out, and I think that they should hold on to Deadpool.
But the reason why they won't do that is because they are still making money off of these films. Like, it's very much so this is still going to be profitable, and as long as we keep churning out the movies, we're still going to be making money.
It'd be profitable if they did it's the same thing like how Sony did with Spider-Man.
You know what?
Oh yeah, if they co-ownership, that would be great.
I think if Spider-Man does really, really well, that might get them off the fence about letting the shit go. You know what I'm saying?
I think the first move in regards to blending those two things is definitely going to be Fantastic Four, though. I think that they're more likely to give Marvel Studios and Disney Fantastic Four before they're even thinking about giving them X-Men.
Yeah, I could see that. I could agree with you there. I could agree.
Fantastic Four, I would have to be convinced. I would have to really see a good movie out of Fantastic Four because they're so corny, man.
I don't think they are, man. I think that Fantastic Four is a sci-fi with powers. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The guy that stretches his body all over the place is corny.
I'm just saying, man.
But that's not what Reed Richards is.
For a movie, they can make.
I'm not.
If visually,
they're gonna have.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
If visually,
you're gonna have Reed Richards standing there and not use his powers. They're gonna what he actually is to the Marvel universe. He that's not what he's gonna be. He might be that lightweight, maybe part-time, but for the most part, they're going to have him in there stretching his body, turning the balls, hammer fists, and all type of other dumbass shit.
It could work. if visually it looks like, say, Prometheus or some shit, but they got great CGI for the powers and shit, man, it would be amazing. It could be an amazing Fantastic Four could be amazing, man.
I'm just sad that like we wouldn't be able
and they
to
would
get
have to explore the like Future Foundation shit, and like it would have to really be on that sci-fi, big scientific, big brain shit though. Like, you know what I'm saying? They could do it, man. They could definitely do it, but
I think the way that they could handle the Fantastic Four in Marvel Studios is if they already have them established. Like, we don't need another origin story. Just have them as being a team that's been like active but not overtly active. But if they already have Doom established as the ruler of Latveria, and it's so disappointing to know that Mads Mikkelsen he basically got swooped up by Marvel already playing that forgettable ass villain in Doctor Strange. But if they got him as Doctor Doom, as Victor Von Doom, that would have been amazing casting because that guy has the chops for it.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange, huh?
Doctor Strange might actually be like a sleeper hit.
Everyone says that it's like 7.75 to 8 range. It's not like anything amazing, but at the same time, it's another good origin story, but not great.
Yeah, I've been saying that I didn't think that it was going to be great, but looking at some of the recent trailers and stuff, I'm thinking that it might actually be like a sleeper hit.
Probably back. Boog, you seen the Deadpool, the Revoltech?
I saw it in person at Image Anime the other day.
So you was with Dave. What you think about it?
I think the shit looks amazing, man. I think it looks good. I think it's a little larger than I expected it to be, though. It's a pretty big figure. But I think it looks pretty fucking good. Did you get it already?
It should be here. I want to say Tuesday.
Yeah, I'm thinking tomorrow or Tuesday for me too. So I'm excited.
I ordered 3 of them.
Yeah, I ordered 2, but I gave one to John Connor.
Yeah, I got 3 of them, but I don't know. I paid for my order, man. I actually got to go look at the email because I got an email before I got the confirmation to pay for it, telling me something about. I think they might have allocated it. I think I might only have 2 coming. I don't know. I have to look. But yeah, I was just wondering if so I know it should be about the size of like that snake figure they just released.
Pretty much, yeah. It's got a little girth to it. It's
wide stance type figure.
Right, exactly. That horse riding stance and shit. But yeah, when you pose him up, he's looking good. And I think that the Deadpool figure looks much better in a vanilla stance than the Spider-Man. That's for sure.
Oh yeah.
So I told Dave, I hollered at Dave, and Dave said he didn't get it or whatever. And I told him, I said, all right.
Which Dave? There's like a million Daves.
Yeah.
Dave BX didn't get it?
Dave BX.
Jesus.
Yeah, I guess he'll go end up paying a little premium at Image or whatever, I guess.
Yeah, I sent everybody in the chat a picture of a size comparison that somebody put up between figures for Revoltech Deadpool and a couple Marvel Legends if anybody was interested, and seeing what the final size ended up being.
What were they charging for it, boy?
You know what? I don't know. I didn't even bother looking at the price because you know how I'd be over there. So I don't know. That's a good question. I'm not sure. I want to say they was charging like $90.
Jeez.
Wait.
Right. $90.
The going rate is around $80 to $90 right now.
I have to order mine through BBTS and probably get it 3 months from now because my Emiya account was canceled.
Cancel? Why?
Just some bullshit with my PayPal being tied up. I've actually not had a working PayPal for a little bit, so they just kind of they were giving me shit. They weren't letting me like change my account from when you make your orders, you choose your payment type, and I guess like on all of my orders, I click PayPal, and I was trying to switch to card, and they just weren't having it, and they fucking locked me out. So I'm gonna have to start a whole new Emiya account with a different address, but I'm just gonna lose all the pre-orders I had before.
Oh damn!
You should be able to contact them, man, and talk to them because I actually called Emiya.
Especially as much shit as you be ordering. Come on,
right? No, but you got people ordered way more shit than probably any of us, and they still cancel their asses out.
Hey man, believe it or not, Emiya has been quoted by them as being told that he's the largest buyer in the U.S., and they still threaten to kick him out anytime he's late on a purchase.
They don't give a
Wow.
Yeah, there was one moment where he had to cancel something because it was an accidental order, and they told him, like, you do this again, you're gonna get kicked out. We don't care how much you buy. Like, Jesus Christ.
Come on, you gotta have
Yeah.
some fucking loyalty to your customers. Come on now.
Yeah, it's bananas. Again, I don't really mind because my father's house is really close to mine, so I'll just start a new account. But it's just annoying that I lost like all the hard to get pre-orders. So I don't have a Deadpool as of now, other than with Big Bad Toy Store. And I'm sure, as all of you know, Big Bad Toy Store's probably not going to get that thing for like another 2 months. So that just
What were they charging?
I was able to get in right when they put it up. So they were charging 66.
Okay,
So it's not a bad price or anything like that. I'm just gonna have to wait it out.
that's not too bad.
Oh yeah.
Awesome.
I think David Walton was mentioning, it was on our list anyways, but before we derail again, let's talk Guardians of the Galaxy trailer.
Well, hold on. Before we go to Guardians of the Galaxy, while we're on Deadpool, the Deadpool Hot Toys figure is actually starting to ship and stuff now too.
Oh yeah, you said that you missed the first delivery, right?
Yeah, so I should be getting mine in the next couple of days. So I'm excited about that. I saw the Fuchsia's review of them, and I remember Shartimus had reviewed that figure a minute ago, but there were some issues, and everybody was speculating that the reason that they had pushed it back was to fix some of those issues. And I didn't see who's the main Fuchs guy that does the
JC.
RoboKiller.
I'm thinking of
I
a
thought
different guy.
Robo.
I'm thinking Marvelous News is JC.
it's Robo, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I didn't see him mention any of the issues that Shartimus did.
You know what it is? You know what it is, Boog? It's that it's the Chartimus, and it's a legitimate critique, but I mean, I also don't blame Russ for doing it. It's a legitimate critique people have on early Hot Toys reviewers like Shartimus. Shartimus reviewed that figure like 2 months ago because it came out in China like 2 months ago.
Right.
And the problem when you're reviewing that China stock that is first, it's 100% authentic, it's just first out of the line, is that there's a lot of problems. And by the time it comes out here 2 or 3 months later, all those problems are usually fixed. So it kind of sucks that these guys made the review early and they have all these problems that are probably not even going to end up being in the American run. Like, I know some people were saying the wrist pegs were kind of weak, and I already know people that have gotten in the new one, and there's no problem with the wrist like there was with the first one with Shartimus's. So it's a catch-22. I mean, when you're a Hot Toys reviewer, it is all about being first, and it's all about getting it as quick as possible. But it's like I said, it's a catch-22 because you're gonna get a faulty product, and you're gonna give people a review that's probably not gonna be the case with what they end up buying in America. So
that actually reminds me of like in terms of Marvel Legends and stuff. I remember seeing a review for Black Cat, and like the Chinese version of Black Cat versus what we got out here in the US is like night and day. It's completely
definitely. All right, so moving on to Guardians of the Galaxy.
Hey, can you guys hear me now?
yeah, he came back in perfect time. We're talking Guardians of the Galaxy, Fabio.
Did you guys get all the import talk out of the way? Great.
Yeah, your favorite is gone. There's no need for you to worry.
We also talked about NECA, and we skipped over that pretty well.
Sorry, quick as fuck.
No residual checks for you.
Oh,
Still coming.
So
Anyway, so
everyone
Guardians.
saw that sneak peek.
So Guardians trailer. What'd you think, John?
I mean, it's the same ragtag group that we left off with. I like it. I dig it. I think that having Nebula show up as like being a prisoner and whatnot, I think she's going to end up joining the crew. I'm sad that we didn't get a look at Mantis. That's the thing I'm most excited about in terms of the sequel. I love Mantis as a character, so I'm excited about that. What else? I think that it's such a cheap ploy to keep Groot as a baby because they're thinking about, oh, this is going to sell a lot. Baby Groot's going to be like the thing that's going to end up be, that's their marketing.
What I don't like that either. I hope that he's only like that for a small portion of the movie and he gets back to.
You know that they're going to keep him like that for at least 75% of the film, at the very least, because they're going to be having.
then something's gonna happen that's gonna make him burst into being normal. And
Exactly. But it's all for marketing reasons. Like I can already see it now. Like the product of just small baby Groot is gonna just be flooding shelves, and it's gonna be purchased a lot. That's the thing.
I could see that for sure.
Yeah, I'm not too happy about that. But otherwise, with the trailer, I mean, we got to look at Nebula. We didn't get a look at Mantis, Baby Groot, Yondu. I'm not feeling that classic look of Yondu too much. I think that if they did the fin all the way down his back, it would have been cooler. But just having a mohawk, it looks a little weird. But I don't know. It looks cool. I guess it's more of what we have. It's nothing crazy. It's nothing different from what we could expect from Guardians of the Galaxy at this point.
Rick?
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of Yondu's look either. I mean, I don't know. It's just ridiculous seeing Michael Rooker like that. Like you said, maybe it was more towards the back. It would have looked a little cooler. I do like the fact that him and Nebula seem like they're joining the team. So I do like that. I'm already dreading the millions of baby Groot with a mini Star-Lord jacket on. I'm already dreading the sight of it. But it looks like what we've come to know. And I'm I was hoping for the best for the first one, wasn't expecting much, and I got totally surprised. And I'm expecting a lot for the second one, and I really hope it delivers. And so far, it looks like it's going to be what we thought it would be.
I mean, there's a lot of shit that needs to happen in terms of like cosmic Marvel right now in order to really set
there's
up
so
for
much.
Thanos. I mean, because we still don't have Adam Warlock. We got to see his cocoon, but we don't have him yet. So hopefully they introduce him in some facet. I don't know how significant Nebula's part is going to be in terms of like Infinity War. I don't even know if they're going to even have her in that. But if you've read Infinity Gauntlet, she's a very important piece to that puzzle.
Right.
But I mean, there's just a lot of things. And then I know that they have Ego, the Living Planet, being Star-Lord's dad. So there are a lot of puzzle pieces that they have.
I don't fucking understand that shit. That doesn't.
I definitely don't either. It's weird.
Yeah, they're trying to claim it was like before the merge happened, and I don't know.
Yeah,
Like divine intervention type shit. Like, come on, what?
I don't get it. I just hope that they don't jip Adam Warlock out of having the Soul Gem and stuff. I already know that they made the Eye of Agamotto an Infinity Stone, and I think it's the Time Stone.
That makes
sense. I just hope that they just leave Adam Warlock alone, because he really is like the best foil for Thanos. And if we don't get that in Infinity War, I'm gonna call it a bust right here and now.
So your mom fucked the planet.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So he terraformed that ass.
He had the smallest penis ever.
He's a fucking planet. Damn. Pharaoh, what you thought about the trailer though?
I ain't think shit about it. I ain't even look at it.
What? Come on, man.
Man, listen, y'all gotta understand. I'm not invested in that type of shit. When the movies come or when I happen to catch the trailer, I'll watch it. But I'm not invested in Guardians of the Galaxy like that, man.
I hear you. I mean, I wasn't like, somebody inboxed me the trailer, so I watched it. But you know what? The signage or the ad for the movie that they showing has Yondu and Nebula like kind of posing with the whole team. So it does seem like they're going to be joining the team or whatever. So
I don't know, man. The first one was just okay to me. So it wasn't a bad movie. I could watch it. I think I've seen it on Stars about 1 million fucking times. But
yeah, it's fun. It's a fun movie. That's pretty much it. Something that you wouldn't necessarily turn off if it comes on, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
I think with the first movie, it got a lot of like people that don't know shit about Guardians invested in it, So that's really what the big draw of the first movie was. It was all of these people that don't know anything about Guardians or even about comics, probably, that just happened to like the movie. So
Yeah, the film itself, how much people love it aside, was just huge and will always be huge in the sense of proving that sometimes you don't need to know these characters, and the films with good writing will succeed. So it's a film that is just forever going to be in people's minds as that one that was able to break not knowing
Man.
these characters and reaching out to the public like that.
Kids went to go see Rocket Raccoon.
that's true. That's true.
Kids didn't give a shit else about nothing. It was Rocket Raccoon.
Well, in group, but yeah.
Group ain't right, and group. But I'm saying,
Definitely Groot just because of the limited vocabulary.
You say what?
I said definitely into Groot because of his limited vocabulary. They're more able to relate to that because they already have a limited vocabulary.
They paid Diesel big money to say I am Groot.
Oh yeah, he got fucking paid, man, and he's gonna get paid so much more now. It's just ridiculous, especially if he's doing a baby.
It'll keep you old vocals.
Yeah, I wonder how it would work in this movie as far as his voiceovers. Are they gonna still use his regular voice and then just?
That's what I'm interested in. Is he gonna be like, I am Groot, or I am Groot?
I mean, are they gonna let him say it regular and then just modify it with sound effects, or
I'm thinking.
gonna be trying to do a baby deep voice? Shit's nuts.
He already got one. That's why he got fat, man. So he can do this. So he can do this voice.
Oh yeah, he put on weight for the role. That's what it is.
Oh no.
Just to get my thoughts real quick. I mean, I wasn't the biggest fan of the first one. It was certainly enjoyable, but I probably only watched it because I wanted to see, the further storyline within the MCU and how they were going to develop the cosmic side of things. So I liked seeing Thanos and the new Infinity Stone and all that stuff. And of course, the Collector was, a big Easter egg room, literally. The movie itself, I was attracted also because it had a really good cast. I mean, Chris Pratt, I was always a fan of because of Parks and Rec. Zoe Saldana is always looking good no matter what color her skin is painted.
I don't know, man. I was not a fan of Zoe Saldana's look.
No?
I wasn't a fan of her even being Gamora, man. She didn't seem like Gamora.
I mean, this is me, just my opinion. I'm not, stating any of this.
Man, where's Todd when we need him? He's the number
Todd is on standby right now, with his finger down on the first letter of the key where he needs to type. He's ready. Shake him.
He loves Zoe Saldana or something?
Man.
He's a
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
He's the intergalactic man.
I thought
Listen, Fabio, the man told me this. And this is exactly how he said it. How in the fuck would you like them to fuck with Batman? I was like, okay, calm down, man.
And then continuing on, I really like Dave Bautista as Drax. I thought he was fucking great. One of the best parts of the movie as well for me.
It's I'm sorry to interrupt. Go for it.
Obviously, I like Bautista as a wrestler, and so it's always cool to see the wrestlers make that transition to the big screen, especially when they manage to peg down like a big franchise like this, and he's going to be playing this character for a while. So, good for him. I'm always happy when any performer or actor like really settles into that role that's like their defining role of their career, and I think this could be it for Big Bautista. And he was great in that 007 movie as well. So I hear. But this, as far as like a character piece, I really like seeing him as this character because I think they did a good thing with it. As far as him taking everything literally is just such a great comedic thing. You can play so many hundreds of different ways throughout the movie and its sequels. So I'm excited for that. And we did see a little bit of that in that sneak peek. So that's got me a little excited. And like you guys said, Groot and Rocket, they're just there to sell plush toys and action figures for kids.
Yep.
Especially that baby. Yep. Oh my God, can you imagine how many like of those dancing baby Groots we got last year?
Dude, I'm telling you, as soon as you walk into Disney store, you're fucking done. Like you're literally dead on arrival. It's Groot Central.
Remember those singing bass fish that you would press the button and it would flap around and sing? I don't know.
Just with Groot. It's gonna just be with Groot now. It's gonna be bad.
Style of every CVS.
Absolutely, it's gonna be a tragedy. And it's like I really love I forgot what run it was, but it was the 2008 run. I forgot who wrote it, 2004, 2008. But the one where they're all in the pre-annihilation costumes, where it's the blue and red, when they had Adam Warlock, and then I think it was Jack something. I forgot the name of a lot of these Guardians characters, but I love that run of Guardians. And Zoe Saldana is not Gamora. Gamora is literally lethal. Like, if you encounter her, she's fucking poisonous, dude. Like, she will fuck with your life, and she has no hesitation in terms of killing anyone. She has no empathy, no sympathy, no compassion. She's a killer.
I agree with that, and I think they did that because they wanted to drive home that point of, like, the ragtag family thing. And I think that's kind of what undid the whole thing for me. It was that it was very Disneyized in that aspect of it, and I don't know. Maybe I'm just not that target demographic, but I can see how teens.
It was all intentional.
Love that.
It was all intentional in terms of like how they reinterpreted these characters' natural sort of interactions in order to better fit a live action interpretation within the MCU.
So,
right.
But
do we have the Walking Dead premiere tonight? Is that what it is?
Yes,
I believe
indeed.
so, yeah.
We gotta
That's why I'm about to get out of here.
Is it at 9:00?
Yeah.
You're right. It is in 15 minutes.
All right, let's take some questions because I know people wanted to, go and do their thing with that. Let's take some questions.
Maybe we should ask the audience that if they want us to stick around for a little bit longer, it should be cut out right before Walking Dead starts.
Yeah, I really don't give a fuck about Walking Dead, honestly. I've been over that shit like 2 seasons ago and just been watching.
Same here. It's the same fucking storyline every time. It's like,
It's all hate. That's just fuck up out of here, man.
No, man. I'm telling you, they need to rename it. They need to rename it Kill Your Darlings, because that's all that happens. You get connected to a character and then they die.
Kill your dog.
I haven't seen The Walking Dead since the 2nd season because I'd read a bit of the comic, and I was away from the comic for a while, and then I started the show, and then I was like, let me get back into reading the comic, and then I realized like, nothing's ever gonna happen.
It's the same storyline every single episode.
People are just gonna die.
Will we survive?
All
Will
right.
we survive?
Who's gonna die? Who's dying tonight? Who you got, Rick?
All right, the person that's gonna die is gonna be Daryl.
Glenn or Daryl? It's Glenn or Daryl.
I say Daryl. I say, you know why I say Daryl?
He's got money coming in from other shit.
Yeah, he's moving on. It's Daryl. He's moving on.
Yeah,
I bet it's Maggie.
You think it's Maggie?
If they killed off the pregnant woman, I can see so many pro-lifers. I can see so many pro-lifers just like ripping that show up.
If they don't kill Maggie, Maggie's where the shock value's at.
Oh yeah.
Exactly. And here's why. I agree with Maggie. That's choice number 1. My choice number 2 is also Daryl, but my choice number 1 is actually Maggie because Greg Nicotero slipped up in an interview and he said deaths. He said there was more than so. That's either a 2-for-1 swing by killing Maggie, or
baby.
Exactly, or it's Daryl who is directly to Rick's left, and you can see the blood stain on that side of his cheek, and Glenn. It's definitely 2 deaths, I think. But it's Glenn and Daryl or Maggie and the baby.
If it's 2 deaths, it can't be both of them. Because he said we got to kill one of you. I don't unless one of them make a move and ended up getting killed as well. But other than if Negan himself has to do it, he's not finna kill 2 of them.
If he kills Maggie, can you imagine the impact that's going to have on our presidential election? Can you imagine it?
If he kills Maggie, they're going to reveal that it's actually Donald Trump as Negan.
Exactly, dude.
All right.
Sorry, I'm repealing Roe v. Wade. Get over it. The Apprentice.
The one chick who wouldn't let him grab her by the pussy.
Exactly. Oh my god. There was already a baby in there. I'm not into that.
We're coming in. Here's an interesting one. Question from Cardinal Kid. With Glenn Webb's early passing, what would you like to happen to your collection if you were to pass away?
I would send mine to charity. Let the kids have it, man. Let them have it.
I don't know. I have very specific feelings on people like Glenn that die. I mean, call it selfish or whatever, or like or whatever you want to say. But like when people like Glenn and like Ogun died, it really made me sad that the people that their family that had their member pass away, that they didn't reach out to a community and say, hey, each of you should own a piece of this, give us money to proceed to go to whatever we want.
I agree with
know,
you 100.
I don't
Definitely.
I very much dislike when they don't do that, just because these figures they were important in our community, and at this point none of us will ever have anything from Glenn.
Yep.
That's it.
Yeah.
We're never gonna have anything from Ogun, so it really sucks and it pains me when these families don't just come out and just say, hey, they can do whatever the hell they want with the money, but just for all of us to remember him by.
Not to mention, who's going to know better than how to take care of some shit than the other collectors? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And I do whatever the hell you want with his regular Marvel Legends. Even if they're rare or if they're worthless Marvel Legends, do whatever you want with that. But those custom pieces,
Custom pieces, yeah, all of that shit.
some of us, we knew Glenn a long time. Yeah, all of us weren't the closest of friends with Glenn like Craig is, or like Billy or anything like that. But we still knew the guy, and he was still a big member of the community. And to not have a piece of him like that to live on in all of our collections forever, it sucks. And
Definitely.
if I was a creative type, I would order my family to sell like for $20 or $50 a piece, $100 a piece, whatever special thing that I made for anyone in the community that wanted it. But regular collection of figures, whatever, I'll just give it to charity or to my little brothers or something like that.
Yeah, I would definitely want the community to just have my figures, because it's not like I have nobody in my immediate family that gives a fuck about that stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? If they needed, I guess if they needed the money and they wanted to like sell it off or do like a charity thing or whatever the case may be, but I would. To me, it just makes perfect sense with what you said, Rick. Like, I would just want people in the community to just have my shit, basically. So
yeah, I remember early on when Ogun passed, and you were talking to somebody behind the scenes at his family, and they reached out to you and told you like, yeah, we would like for his pieces to go out. And I remember from what you told me, they kind of sounded like they got it greedy, and they believed that his son's work was like worth millions of dollars, and they kind of just backed out. I hate that kind of stuff.
I don't know what really ever happened or why the lines of communication broke down with that, but yeah, that would have been really cool if some of the people would have got some, his final things that he were working on, and at this point, like, people could have touched it up and continue, to finish whatever it was that he did, or they could have left it as is, but it definitely would have been cool to get some people in the community to have some of that stuff. So yeah, I don't see. I guess I kind of see that I would leave some specific instructions, but I just wouldn't want. That's a lot of shit for your family to be bogged down with too. Like, you know what I'm saying? For them to just not know anything. They don't know the characters' names. They don't know what's worth what. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's, I don't know.
Yeah, like I said, it's hard to value. It's hard to value specifically the customs like that, or the work. Just make a flat price. Like, hey man, Glenn made 200 customs. Each custom we're selling off to $100, and we're gonna give all the proceeds to charity. Or fuck, you could even keep all the proceeds for yourself, or do whatever you want. You lost your family member's life. You're entitled to make whatever choice you want with that.
Right.
But the regular figures, do whatever the hell you want with them. Look up individual prices, but those customs, the dios, you can't really price that stuff. And for you to not reach out and try to have the collector.
I don't interrupt you, Rick, but what would you do with your figures?
Yeah, like I said, if I actually have a lot of younger siblings that are very, very young. One of my brothers is 7 years old, and the other brother's 5. So I'm very happy giving my regular figures away to them. But if I was the maker type, like a Glenn or like an Ogun or like an Al Figures isn't dead, but you know what I mean. I would want a piece of me to live on with other people forever. I wouldn't want this stuff to sit in my house because my family thinks that it's worth money and they don't want to give it away or anything like that.
Well,
What about
Rick,
you?
you sound like a total ass.
Hell yeah.
You sound like a selfish asshole. You just want a piece of Glenn's collection, and you're trying to make all of us an accessory to your crime. I'm not going to do that. What I would say, I mean, it's very touching the way you framed it, but I mean, it is a burden for your family to take care of. So it's a lot of them, yeah, just they don't know the value of these things, so maybe they'll sell it for too cheap or ridiculously expensive, like Boog mentioned. So I think it's it's important for all of us, I guess, at this point. Now that we're all talking about it, that it is something to keep in mind, especially some of us. There's some older collectors in the community. As we get up there, it is important to keep that in mind and keep our loved ones informed exactly what they'd want to do with our stuff. Me personally, I want to be buried with all of my shit. I need a mausoleum.
You realize that your grave will be robbed.
Like I'm a goddamn, no pun intended, Pharaoh.
You realize that you will be
all
robbed,
of my stuff. It's going to live on with me. I'm going to be the selfish asshole, but in a different way than Rick.
No, your grave is going to be robbed. 100%.
You know what?
I put traps and curses everywhere.
No one wants NECA anyway.
I don't really.
Whatever.
I honestly don't see the point of like. I really don't even honestly see the point of like, a mausoleum is some bullshit in my opinion. A mausoleum is some bullshit. A fucking regular like funeral.
Well, Boog, think about it this way. Let's say you die before you get to fulfill your ultimate dream of having that man cave, like that one room for all your stuff. Is it too much to ask for your family to give you that in passing?
Yeah, because I'm fucking dead.
Exactly.
You deserve to go off like a fucking king.
Oh my god.
I always tell my family, don't spend money on a funeral. Don't do any of that shit. Cremate me and go on with your fucking life. Stop.
Just bury him at the Gucci store.
Bury me like
Boog's got that Frank Reynolds mentality. Throw my body in the trash.
I never lived like that in life. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I never been this flashy. Like, I'm gonna go out and have like all this crazy shit in death. Like, it's stupid. It's just stupid. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. Like I said, man, throw that shit up on eBay at 99 cents. You can't. We're gonna talk. Listen, all you got to do. You know what I'm saying? Like my chick, if I die, my chick more than likely is going to contact one of y'all and then be like, help walk me through what goes where, what should I be doing?
Right.
That's more than likely what she's going to do. And once she pieced that shit together, put that shit up, start 99-cent bids on eBay on everything.
Everything, yeah.
You don't even got to figure out how much shit worth. People on eBay bid it up for you.
For real, though. For real.
Don't worry about it. Like, and you can take that money and take your cut and then split it with my kids.
There you go.
And then that'd be the end of it because it's all plastic. And my favorite Batman, though, you can burn it with me.
Yeah.
You get the 112th Mezco 112th Dark Knight Returns back, man.
No. When I say my favorite Batman, it's like I'm at like 40 of them in the cat.
You give Pharaoh and 40 different Batman fans who loves a Viking funeral. And
my God.
I'm gonna be dressed as Batman going through the crematorium. Batman will be there when they sending me off.
Oh my God! You have Ben Affleck like reading a final farewell.
Kevin Conroy gonna read it. Ben Affleck.
Okay. Even better. That's even better.
Could you imagine? That'd be the bomber's fucking funeral.
For real though. Oh my God.
But I'm like, man, I don't want to. Don't put me in the ground and waste all that goddamn money on that bullshit. You can put me in a cardboard box and send me through that shit. It's nothing.
Yeah, at this particular point, I mean, I guess it's just religious shit with certain people, but like, it's real like inconsiderate for us to be doing all of this shit with these caskets and all of this space and shit. Like, come on.
Of course.
It's silly as fuck.
It's like what? Okay, this is my whole ideology. It's like everyone should be an organ donor and everyone should opt for cremation after.
Yeah,
so get all of your organs removed so it can benefit people that are still around that need that stuff. Burn your body. Keep your ashes inside of an urn. Maybe your family takes care of it. If not, spread them across the ocean.
Put them in the ocean, like, you return to the essence. That's it. That's what it is.
I'm gonna be an organ donor, and I'm gonna need people to take my body and plant it under one of those trees, like I've seen on a video.
Right.
Oh my God.
I want to be a tree.
I mean, I'm joking about the mausoleum thing. In reality, I would like my body to preferably be burned. I mean, I'm not trying to create waste, and then preferably planted in some soil to be grown into a tree that I could live on as a tree in a certain way,
I am Groot, bitch.
Yeah, I am Groot, man.
Make a figure out you.
Exactly. I am Groot, bitch. Right on the bottom of the roots.
Yeah.
He gonna burn Fabio and make a NECA figure out of him.
Oh my God, Randy is gonna actually mold Fabio's ashes.
It's
I want
crazy.
a
He's
gun,
gonna break.
and I want to
The
be
legs gonna break right out the gate. He's gonna have a stuck elbow and a broken knee joint.
And then your ancestors are going to buy that figure reluctantly, just like you do every day of your life, Pharaoh. And I'm going to
No one in my entire family besides my uncle fucks with action figures at all. Not even my son. My son likes wrestling, and he doesn't even fuck with action figures at this point in time now. Nobody's gonna buy your crappy figure. Your figure's Randy's gonna have your figure in the NECA office, bent over with Terminator figure behind it.
Oh my God.
I can think of nothing better.
What other questions we got down there?
All right. I think Cardinal Kid had another question, but we'll come back to him, so we're not back to back. If we get a Marvel Legends Luke Cage from the Netflix show, could it work in a comic Marvel Legends display since comic Luke Cage is in street clothes? And on that note, where do you think they could include a Luke Cage Marvel figure?
Well, they said that they're having a Netflix Marvel Legends line being released in 2017, so that's the line that it'll be released in. But in terms of it opting as a comic secondary thing, I guess it works because Luke Cage is in street clothes. But at the same time, I just want a comic Luke Cage.
Yeah. You can do what you want to do with your figures, man. If you want the movie figure to go on with the comics and put them in there. I mean, I don't think I would do it unless the body would look kind of comic styled or whatever, or I could swap a head out that looks more comic, more like the comic figures or whatever. But you can do what you want to do. I don't know. I don't know. I don't really understand like these forms of questions, in my opinion. I don't
know. I think what he was trying to say was if they didn't include the Luke Cage in Netflix series, or if it wasn't going to be an all Netflix series, where would a Luke Cage fit in the current design of how they drop in the waves? And I think that they could probably squeeze a Luke Cage in any one of these Spider-Man lines, actually. So I think that's where it might fit, like a comic Luke Cage, because Spider-Man, Luke Cage, what was that team that was most recently in the books with most of the black people in Spider-Man?
Mighty Avengers.
Mighty Avengers. So yeah, they might do something in terms of that.
They had Ronan. Blade as Ronan.
Are we gonna end right now? Because Walking Dead's about to come on.
Yeah, I could go watch Walking Dead. Whoever want to stay on can stay on. I'm not watching that shit.
Me neither.
I've not watched it since the second season, so I don't. I'm in no rush to.
Well, to let you know, I highly suspect that somebody in the chat is going to attempt to spoil it for everybody in the live chat. Whole finale.
Don't be an asshole. Don't be an asshole.
We'll just have.
So I'm just in the chat just to save the audience from getting spoiled. Because I highly think it's going to happen.
If you don't go watch the show, man, take your ass on, man.
No, I'm not saying it for me, Pharaoh. I'm not saying it for me. I'm just saying people who might be watching or listening to the podcast right now, not watching Walking Dead, might care to not have their show spoiled for them, or might be a little pissed off if somebody.
I don't want to. My girl wants me to watch it with her later, so I'll watch it later. But I'm not like.
Yes, I DVR'd it, man. I'll go into it 30 minutes behind and rewind it or start it.
That should be on the rest of the night.
Watch it online anyway. I'm just saying, for the audience sake, if somebody spoils it in the chat, we just don't want somebody in the audience to be pissed off and a troll in there in the chat.
But yeah, did we have other topics that we didn't actually get to, or we still want to take questions?
We can take a couple more questions. Here's another one from Cardinal Kid. Any of us plan on investing money into buying stock into some of our favorite toy companies?
The NECA plug is real. I can feel it.
Might speak. That's all.
I felt like I wanted to play the stock market as a younger man, that I wanted to get involved with it and play that game, but I don't know. I gamble enough as it is, honestly.
If you're wanting to play stocks,
that's like you buy scratch offs.
No, but seriously though, this is something very important.
Oh, relevant.
Very, very important stuff. If you're trying to make money, invest in water. That's it. Put your money in water stocks. You'll make money. It's the one thing that we all need.
You gonna listen to him? You gonna go broke as a bitch.
You'll
Yeah,
actually
Water stock go fail like a
just from what the
Trust me.
market shows, stuff like water, gold, silver, that kind of stuff, it always does particularly well. I mean, not as well as water does, but you know, the gold and the silver, that kind of stuff, that's what you should invest in.
I like
Water
to
is the future.
diamonds.
Well, to not stray away from the question, what companies are public or have stocks? What toy companies? I would assume Hasbro, right? Hasbro has some
Yeah.
type of stock.
Mattel.
Mattel, I'm sure. Okay.
That's. I don't think NECA has one. I know the company that owns NECA probably is, but I wouldn't think to invest in them. I wouldn't be confident because Hastings just went under. Another company that's owned by NECA, or the same company that owns NECA.
But I guess Hasbro would be a pretty fucking safe bet, man. They've got obviously Legends and Star Wars always. Well, Legends have been doing really well, and Star Wars always does well.
Price, is that its own brand?
What? Who?
Fisher Price.
Is Fisher Price still around?
Well, yeah. I mean, they just do
Definitely.
kids, baby stuff, but they're one of the biggest companies of that demographic.
Yeah, you know what? Anything that has to do with babies would obviously be a safe bet, probably.
Lego is obviously huge as well.
Lego.
Yeah, I have stocks and sneaker brands from back in the day, but I honestly didn't even spend that much with them, and I don't even keep up with it because it was infuriating when I did for the first few months. So,
I mean, if you got like an IRA or 401 plan or something like that, you are pretty much playing the stock market with something like that too, and indirect sort of way. So, I would definitely recommend that you start figuring out your savings plan for your retirement.
Oh shit.
Fuckery with the Social Security and this and that, you got to start saving your own money for your retirement plan. So you definitely want to do something, especially if you up there. If you at least 25, you need to start thinking ahead, man.
And okay, let's move it on. Is the best Batman 6-inch figure the new Mafex figure? Pharaoh, let's start with you. Is he gone? Oh shit, he's gone. That guy's
you want to go watch Walking Dead or something?
Yeah,
Oh,
but
I thought he was saying he didn't care. That guy looks like he drives away in a Prius, just silent.
you know what? I couldn't even. I would say it's probably up there. I'd say it's up there. The new Mafex that just released is a very nice Batman. I'd say it's up there with whatever's in the top.
I like the Mezco Batman a lot. I think when Mezco comes out with a more, classic comic Batman that's not so accurate to just the Dark Knight Returns look, which is obviously very stylized and a very like stocky Batman. But when they come out with another Batman along the lines of that Superman or any of those cape figures like Shazam or even Space Ghost, I think that's going to be a highly definitive Batman, especially because I think they'll give you a bunch of different expressions with the face, which is a lot of 6-inch figures don't really do.
Yeah, if Mezco does it, and considering how fucking popular this Daredevil that they just put out was, yeah, if they do a classic comic style Batman and give you all of the accessories and this and that, and I think Mezco could definitely knock it out the park. I'm with you there.
What do you think, Rick?
Yeah. The question is, which one's our favorite, right?
Right. Which is the best 6-inch Batman right now?
Well, the best 6-inch Batman, no question, is the Mezco one. I'm not the biggest fan of that design. I mean, I am a fan of the story, but
that's
it's not like
said, yeah. That's what we were just saying. When they come out with a classic one of the Mezco,
I was just about to say it's pretty much like you guys just said. Once they come out with a regular, more classic look, it'll definitely be the best. But still, even so, that look and that figure is it's the best right now.
But what do you? The question was, what do you think of the Mafex though? Do you think that's one of the best ones right now?
No, no. If I'm just when it comes to film figures, I think that's I don't think that a film figure could ever win a category like that for me because it's just so closed into one thing.
Right. Especially go back to Mezco when they do their eventual one. They could do that in so many colors. They could give you an all blue. They could give you a black and gray, blue and gray. They could even do a black gray. A black blue mix where it's blue but it's got black highlights like on the face and on the trunks and stuff like that, almost like comic style. I think they could do that in so many different colors that it'll probably be the best one out there. But speaking of DC Films figures, though, did you see the new? I know it's kind of tangentially related, but did you guys see the pictures that were leaked of the Superman and the armored Batman, kind of like fighting on a desk with the picture with the box in the background? They look almost identical to the Mafex one, at least that Superman. The only thing
that line,
I don't
that
like
line,
Superman. I
that
don't
line
like
is pretty. That line is
it's already doomed, right? But I mean, that Batman, the Superman, rather, the torso just looks super skinny, like that waist. It's a really sharp hourglass shape, but not in a sexy way, like it's supposed to be.
I don't like the Superman at all. I think it looks terrible.
I think the face looked a little bit better than Mafex, but I don't know. The articulations look weird. Some of the sculpting on the stomach, it looks very, very blocky. I don't know. Maybe we'll have to wait for some closer looks. Moving on. This is for Rick and Fabio. Which is better, Raw or SmackDown so far? Brian Carter thinks it's SmackDown. What do you think, Rick?
Lucha Libre.
I mean, that,
Lucha Down is my answer.
I don't know. I like and dislike, so many things of both of the shows. I think they're both pretty strong right now. I mean, I think if Kevin Owens wasn't made the champion, I wouldn't be a fan of the show. But
Of Raw?
where they have Kevin right now and where they have Chris, where we obviously see where Chris and Kevin's relationship is going.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the right place for it right now. And I'm enjoying the show because of it. I mean, this is some of the best Chris Jericho we've seen in a long time, and Kevin Owens is incredible as always. And and I think what we have on SmackDown is good too. So I don't know. I think they're both pretty even. I don't think either of them is like shitting on the other one to some incredible degree. I think they're both pretty even right now. And I hope that they continue on this way. I hope that neither of the champion changes anytime soon, because it would be a big mistake for those personalities, in my opinion.
Right. I have to agree. I think Raw is probably a little bit more enjoyable for me. Not that SmackDown is like bad or anything, but I just remember Raw a little bit better as far as what's coming up and who the superstars are on it. I think from the get-go, it had a better roster too. I mean, at least from my perspective, because it has some of my favorite wrestlers. Like you mentioned, fucking Jericho is killing it right now. Best Jericho in years. Kevin Owens, their thing is a kind of a tenuous friendship right now, which is hilarious. And Jericho with his fucking list of Jericho, and every single week he's just killing it. Then another big thing is the cruiserweight division is on Raw, which I love. It's good to see Brian Kendrick back on TV. I like his storyline right now, and TJ Perkins as champ is pretty cool. And then it's just about putting over other talent. And of course, Jack Gallagher is coming up, who is my favorite cruiserweight from the Cruiserweight Classic. And then the women's division, of course, has what I would say a higher profile roster. As far as Charlotte and Sasha Banks, Bayley, even though they're not really doing anything with Bayley. And then Hell in a Cell is their big pay-per-view that's upcoming, which is one of my favorite pay-per-views every year. So there's a lot of things that make Raw a little bit better, in my opinion, so far.
Yeah, what they're doing with Bayley right now is very questionable. I don't know what the fuck is going on with Bayley.
Well, let's not get into it too much because we got a lot of shit to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We both pretty much agree that it's even.
Yeah, let's move on to Colossal Customs. Do you guys like the themed waves of Marvel Legends, or do you prefer mixed random character collections?
I like the themes.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's a good
provide a better context for the selections that you get, but at the same time, it's like there are very specific characters that I want, and I kind of just want them to give us a grab bag series. Like if they give us a Marvel Knights, Marvel Legends line, I'll be happy.
Right. I think that's more what the box sets are doing, at least the SDCC ones, is more of a random grab bag of characters.
Yeah.
Theme waves have to be tied to movies and stuff like that, so there always has to be that marquee character that we'll have infinite numbers of variants of.
Yeah, like
But
that
that's
anchor, basically.
exactly. I mean, we had the Age of X Cap, and then there's always an Iron Man, even in the Hulkbuster wave, which is an Iron Man Build-A-Figure. We still got an Iron Man. So it's
The thing I'm like so fucking shocked and amazed with is that they gave us an Age of X cap, but they didn't give us the one that's from all new, all different Marvel. Like they had time to design it.
mhm. I mean, it's like I said, it's tied to the movies, so uh, I think
It's such a random character though. There's literally are there any other Age of X characters other than the Wolverine that was released in Toy Biz?
No, I don't think
So
so.
it's like, why did they give us it? It makes no sense. It's literally a figure that is going for $9 on eBay with shipping.
Yeah, I'm happy with the films tying everything together with a theme, just because we've gotten now more than ever that we've gotten from Legends. So I'm happy at this pace. I know some people don't like it; it's a little too fast. There's too much for some people, but I like this motion. I like that I'm always thinking about something new that's coming. I like that there's always something in my mind. I don't I don't forget about Legends. I don't ask when the next one is coming because I just already know that one is on the way, and I like that.
I wish that they slowed down a bit though, because like three waves pretty much were back to back to back, and it was like a trouble on the wallet. It still is a trouble on the wallet for a lot of people. For myself, it's definitely a trouble on the wallet because I'm not even able to get the entire Doctor Strange wave right now. I'm having to get them in pieces.
Yeah, you know what? I will mention the fact that I have not. The only wave I wanted to completely have all of was just the X-Men one. So I think that's also a reason why I like it, because I've never, other than the X-Men one, ever like, damn, I need to get the entire fucking wave. So I will say, if you're a person that is commonly wanting most of the waves, I do feel bad that it's coming so quickly, because it's not forgiving on the wallet if you want the entire wave of pretty much everything that comes.
Yeah. And then I know that we were talking about it. Someone already mentioned it just now in the comments, but it wasn't an Age of X cap. It was a Secret War cap.
right.
And it was like a design that was like not even in the actual like storyline of Secret War. It was just in for like a tiny panel.
Yeah, it was
Wasn't even
the part.
I think originally they had announced it as it being the Age of X cap, and then it ended up being Secret Wars when it came out, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, something like that. Something like that. But it was TLDR. It's a shitty cap figure, and it's a shitty costume, and I don't know why anyone even bothers buying it.
Boog, couple quick questions for you. Did you ever repaint the Black Series Vader helmet, the Emperor's Wrath one? And will the A.C.B.A shop be getting more Tamashi effects?
I did not repaint it, and now that I've had it all this time, and I didn't, and I see that they're going to be releasing another Vader, I'm not going to do shit with it. I think I might just end up getting rid of that translucent one. I don't know. Maybe I'll hold on to it. Maybe it'll come in handy for something, some type of display. I don't know, but I'm not going to bother trying to get it repainted, because I'm gonna just probably cop the new Vader when it drops. I've been super selective with Black Series purchases, but
Same here. I'm super selective with Black Series, and because we don't have a Build-A-Figure, it's very easy to not give a shit.
right, definitely, it's easy to pass on a Black Series figure.
Not too loudly. We're gonna get a Build-A-Figure.
You think so? So to answer that first question, yeah, I'm not gonna repaint. But what was the second question? Oh, Tamashi effects in the store. Possibly, yeah, a few things. We'll probably restock the really popular things like the explosion and the ground impact. Yes.
And Fabio, before we end the show, remind me that we have a question from David Walton on Facebook whenever we have a free moment.
Okay.
Will do, David.
Fantastic.
Is Cap still Hydra in the comics while we're talking about Cap?
I believe that he's not anymore. I believe that
really?
they cleared it up by saying that basically the Red Skull like interfered with time through that I think it was with the Cosmic Cube. I haven't even read that entire new Cap run. I'm just going off of what I think is happening. So don't take my word as 100%. But I remember hearing something about that character that was introduced during Avengers Standoff or something like that. Basically, that was Red Skull like fucking around with the time. So basically, it made Cap a secret Hydra agent, but now he's all privy to that information, so it's not affecting him any longer. So some shit like that. But honestly, if you care about that Cap run, I feel bad for you because it's really poorly written. Like the first issue I read, I was like, wow, this is a gimmick. It's quite literally a gimmick just to sell comics. Like making Cap Hydra is just a gimmick. Like we all knew it wasn't going to stick.
That's why I was so surprised when you first mentioned that he's already back to normal. It's almost like that was
they tried retconning that like literally in this, like I think it was in the third issue. They tried like reversing that. I was just like, wow, you can't even stick to the whole controversial thing that is like giving.
Well, I think that was part of the reason why, because so many people were in such an uproar that they were just like, you know what, fuck this.
And honestly, all the people that were in an uproar don't even fucking buy comics.
Yeah, that's normally how it is. You know how that shit.
And speaking of poorly written, apparently there were some script leaks from Justice League. I'm not sure about that. I'm actually looking it up right now.
Not interested.
Did you guys hear anything about that though?
I heard about it, but I have not bothered reading it.
Bruce James, if you could elaborate a little bit, great.
Let's just say John is very excited and he wants to know more.
I am not, and I couldn't care less about the DCEU. And can we just please just get rid of it, please? I don't mind the actors. I just mind the vision. The vision is terrible.
All right, here we go. Mike Odom's got a question. How do you guys feel about mixing universes? Say someone takes a shot at Bruce Lee, Wolverine, it's well focused, crop, dio, cut out, well lit. What is the downfall of the shot for you guys? I mean, nothing really.
You know what the downfall of those shots are to me personally, as just as a lover of articulated comic book art, is when it takes itself too seriously. When you're doing shots like that, you're saying it's contained, it's clear, it's proper lighting, proper posing, and and it is a crossover. Although I wouldn't do it, as long as like it's not like acting as if it's something fucking crazy, or you don't have a shitload of fucking dialogue between Wolverine and Bruce Lee acting like they're having some sort of like retorts back and forth and stuff like that. Then it's fine. I wouldn't do it personally, but hey, man, if it looks good, then you're having fun and it looks good, I'm all right with it.
Well, here's the thing about Bruce Lee and Wolverine is I'm pretty sure Bruce Lee, he's a real life person, so I'm sure he exists in the X-Men universe in some capacity too. But just mixing, like DC with Marvel, it's to me what I like when seeing crossovers like that is I like when the crossover in a way makes sense, whether it's like the two characters are kind of mirrors of each other, where they're like kind of similar. You always see like Deathstroke versus Deadpool or something like that.
Oh boy.
Sorry about that. Somebody's apparently dying in the distance.
We're all dying in the distance. We're all dying in the distance.
Like I said, I just like seeing either similar matches, characters that are thematically similar, or like wildly opposite, where they kind of foil each other. I don't know. To me, it's just I like seeing people create stories within a character's established universe, like using a character's mythos. I don't know why. Maybe it's just like as a fan of it, I like seeing it's almost like fan fiction. And there's people that argue that like we don't own these characters, so anything that we make isn't owned by us either or whatever. But that's some bullshit, because to me, it's like, when any artist writes or draws for a comic, they're creating their interpretation of a character that they didn't necessarily create, but we still call it Rick Remender's X-Force, like we were saying earlier, or whatever, that it's tied to that person's vision of the character. So that's kind of what I like seeing from A.C.B.A. artists, is like their vision for like a character. And so when it's within its universe, I like seeing that fleshed out. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't mean to interrupt, but I just figured out who died in The Walking Dead.
Well, don't say it. But I think
I'm not gonna say it, but it happened. I'm just saying, if anyone wants to go out and look, don't spoil it in the chat like an asshole. Just be quiet about it.
Someone will.
Yeah, I don't want to know, but but yeah, I fucking hate crossovers. I always say this.
Same, dude.
I don't give a fuck what it is. I just if I see a crossover, I hate it. I fucking hate it.
Right. I mean,
Only-
just going back to the original question, he's saying like the shot itself is good, but just like what to you is the downfall of the shot? Like I said, to me, the downfall is just not seeing that creative aspect of creating something within a universe that's, I don't know, like putting your own spin on something else.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I recognize if it's a good shot, and it's. I have liked very few crossovers though. Regardless, like it's got to be a phenomenal shot for me to like it or care about it. Like I fucking hate crossovers, and you know what I hate most? Like you said, it's got to make some sense. The people that not 90% of the people that do crossovers on the board, they're just stupid as fuck too. Though it doesn't make any sense at all. It's just dumb.
Like, for instance, why would Spider-Man be fighting a bunch of stormtroopers? It doesn't make sense to me. Is it Comic-Con? If it's Comic-Con, it makes sense, but there needs to be some sort of like context.
Make it clever, like make it clever, make it clever, make something. Like I hate crossovers. I hate people doing the same exact thing that they've seen done 20,000 times before.
Bro.
I fucking hate outdoor shots that are not scaled properly. I fucking hate people with really nice cameras that just blur out the background and just blur shit for no reason and think that they're taking a fucking great picture with nothing in it. Just like, come on, man. Like,
right. There's, you use a nice camera, but you still got to pay attention to little details like holding a weapon properly with both hands. If it's a two-handed weapon and the second hand is open, you got to make sure.
There's just one thing I would like to contribute to this. Just one thing. There's one thing that annoys me more so than crossovers. It's not having the correct era of costumes.
Yeah, that too. That annoys me.
For the love of God, if I see Marvel Now Iron Man with like classic Cap or better yet like classic Hawkeye or something, I literally I don't rip my hair out, but it's really fucking annoying.
That's been happening a lot with this with the Wolverine that we just got. Wolverine's
exactly
every fucking team in the brown costume.
Exactly. It's like you guys know that the Marvel Now Deadpool and that classic brown suit Wolverine have never been in a panel together, right? They've never existed together.
Yo, why don't you just
do
things you like? And people don't like to think. People don't like to think about shit. They don't like to go and look up shit. Like, yo, just do shit from the era when Wolverine was actually in that costume. Do some older setups. Like that's it. Like, you know what I'm saying?
And to be frank, this isn't even like a classic brown suit Wolverine. This is a brown suit Jim Lee Wolverine. There are levels to this shit. It's like
just to address, there's going to be haters out there, maybe even in the chat, who are going to say like, oh, just a bunch of picky nerds who,
I mean, I am a picky nerd, but at the same time, it's like it makes sense.
Let's delve into psychology here. What is it about not having it from the same era that is it like an OCD thing? You know what I'm saying? Like it is
an OCD thing, I suppose.
Definitely categorizes as that for me. Yeah, definitely.
It's just about accuracy. If you're trying to this is the way I like to rationalize it. It's about accuracy. Like if you're trying to tell a specific story, there's a lot to be said for having everybody in the same costume from the same era, because that's just another detail that you're putting into the photo that people are going to know. It's not just that these are characters who are in a team together, but they're wearing their costumes from the era that you're trying to portray. So
exactly,
if you wanted to have like a 70s Avengers team, or let's do a 70s Avengers team, and in the background of your photo you have civilians who have like afros and very 70s era clothing, then you could, that's going to be a huge like plus, is you're clearly making a photo or a display of like a 70s superhero team or that specific era of that superhero team, and that's a plus in the detail department. Like that's good, but
I'm just saying, like people that are especially like going to be entering World Tournament and stuff, that sense of clarity of keeping the costumes all in the same era, I can guarantee you that if Boog is going to be doing the judging and whatnot, he is going to be looking for that. He might not grade you as hardly, or you might not get penalized for that or anything like that, but at the same time, that is a big deal.
And it goes for accuracy for stuff that I like to photograph too. And here comes my $10. when I'm doing like an AVP photo, I can't have the Predator from Predator 1 versus the aliens from Aliens. I need to have the AVP alien with the AVP Predator because they're different designs. Even in the comic, they're different designs. Even in the Dark Horse comic that just finished, it's called Fire and Stone. There's Predators that wear different armor because one of them is more specific to like an AVP storyline, and another one is more specific to a more Predator 1 storyline. And so it's accurate even in those in that respective sense. And the Colonial Marines who were modeled after the aliens, and it all ties in together. And so for me, that accuracy is good too, not just having Alien and Predator, but the AVP Alien versus the AVP Predator. I don't know. Moving on, we're harping here.
Fuck crossovers, I fucking.
Here comes another reason for people to continue hating us, which is honestly a silly reason. This is all just like our personal opinion. Like, this is what we like to see. But Mike, go back to the original question. If it's a good photo, it's a fucking good photo. Like, I'm gonna probably hit like on it or whatever if that's what you care about.
Yeah, it's just a personal thing. It has no bearing on the rules of the group or any of that shit. It's literally just my personal feeling about the question. That's it. I mean,
here's a good example
way to like make it where if somebody posts a crossover, I like make the picture disappear, or like not going out of my way to sabotage shit that I don't like or whatever the case may be. There's something for everyone. So like if other people enjoy it, I'm fine with that. I want the board to be a smorgasbord of different things for everybody to enjoy anyway. So it's not like I'm on some shit where it's like everything's got to be a certain way to my liking, and no. It's just personally, I fucking hate crossover. That's it.
You're welcome to post that in the group. Like, if it's a good photo, again, it's gonna rock. It's gonna get up there. You're gonna get a feature, whatever you want. But yeah.
At the end of the day, some people like stuff that us admins don't give a shit about. So what the hell do we know? Everybody else likes it, so well, what the hell do we do?
And it's like we're not saying that you can't take a good photo using crossovers. Like, look at Darius. Like, Darius has made his like photography career off of that.
You know what? That's one person whose shit I can stomach. Darius and Raspberry Chainsaw. Like, I can stomach it because it's good. It's still really good posed and like clever ideas and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can stomach that shit, but some other people they don't have the same creativity. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just something for the sake of it. Like 9 times out of 10, a lot of people just use Deadpool just for the sake of Deadpool. If they in the back of their mind, they're like, I got Deadpool, no matter what, instant likes. People are gonna love it, and it's not even a funny or clever idea at all. It's stupid as fuck. It's just because you have Deadpool, you think people are gonna like, go nuts over it. But no, it's a fucking stupid picture.
All right, beating a dead horse. So moving on. Let me just go back and address some things from earlier questions. I guess.
Hold on. One last thing though. I fucking hate crossovers.
Apparently, Captain America is still Hydra in the comics. He's trying to take Hydra from Red Skull and rule it for himself.
Oh, well, that just goes to show you how interested I am with that run.
You guys ever seen Happy Days? Remember when Fonzie jumped the shark?
Sunday, Monday, Happy Days?
And yes, and that is indeed Cap jumping the shark. Honestly, I'm not interested in it. Not interested.
One more thing as far as the Justice League rumors. Apparently, Barack Obama is playing someone.
Sunday, Monday, Happy Days? Barack Obama Happy Days?
Barack Obama's playing somebody in Justice League?
I guess
if
so.
Barack Obama plays fucking
That's fine.
John Stewart. Let us.
John Stewart. We, the people of the Green Lanterns.
Oh. We, the Green Lantern Corps, we are committed to protecting our interests. Jesus.
And we're not going to be beat. I don't care what color ring you have. We're not going to be beat.
You have it.
I was thinking they're going to replace the guy who's playing Cyborg's dad. It's originally Miles Dyson. What if they just replace him last minute just to get that big name Barack Obama starting his movie?
I suppose Silas. I suppose Barack Obama being Silas isn't bad.
Yeah. You guys went a little bit more literal with that one. Moving on.
Wait,
And have you read Invincible? What are your thoughts?
Oh, have I read Invincible?
Hmm?
Yeah, I love it. Ryan Otley is one of the artists that's been working on it. It's great illustrations, and I think it is Robert Kirkman's better work in terms of
no
like
question. No
compared to
question,
Walking
man.
Dead. It's definitely the better of the two.
All
But
right.
yeah, I highly recommend.
How far is Invincible? What issue or what book of it?
I'm not sure. I dropped that like probably 2 or 3 years ago. I don't even know if it's still ongoing.
I think it ended already.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it ended actually. Let me see.
Yeah, let's do some fact checking.
Let's check them facts.
Let's check them facts.
Um,
It's just the facts.
All right. Jeremy Lee's got a question. Would you be willing to pay $25 to $30 for Marvel Legends if they come with interchangeable hands and heads? Hasbro could also do premium Marvel Legends line like the WWE Elites, where they would come with more accessories and stuff like that. What I think he's trying to say.
no, no,
I don't see Hasbro doing that either.
fuck no. And I'll tell you why. Scalpers.
Mm.
They would
Imagine.
never they would never do it, but I'd buy it.
You know what it is? What you would have to watch out for more with that is the repacks. It ain't even about the fucking scalpers. That is going to be repack central. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Bro.
but I pay for it. Yeah, sure. If it's guaranteed, you get two heads and a couple, at least two complete sets of interchangeable hands and some accessories for $25. Absolutely, I pay for that. Sure.
Hell yeah. Would we all buy it? I think we all would, but would it happen? I fucking really highly doubt it.
I mean, I would buy it, but at the same time, like, I can already see so many people complaining about. I mean, just look at it now. Like, all the people complaining about Deadpool didn't even have, like, a Build-A-Figure part. It wasn't even essential in order to, like, complete Juggernaut. People are still crying about how it's being stealth. Like, I think on Amazon it's going for, like, $40. Can you imagine that if it had, like, the Build-A-Figure part, more interchangeable heads, more accessories and stuff? That thing will be going for $60. And I guarantee you that everyone in here is saying that, oh, yeah, I'm comfortable with that. And then what happens when you didn't pre order the case? You're
All
gonna
right.
be bitching about
Yeah.
it.
What about, as Colossal Customs points out, what if Hasbro switches out the Bath figures for more effects, hands, and heads?
No, thank you. I want to keep the bath if that's the case.
Yeah, I think we all saw what happened when they took away the bath. People just kind of felt like it wasn't the same thing.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like Legends to some people. Personally, I don't mind either way. Like I said, I'm a very big cherry picker, but if I was a person that collected entire waves, yeah, I would not be happy about a bath disappearing.
Yeah, but the only thing is that there are so many characters that we can only get in a Build-A-Figure form that we would never get in a single pack. So
That's true.
I couldn't imagine
Going back to
seeing.
Invincible, it's still ongoing. They just did a reboot and they're ending the story next year.
Oh, okay.
There we
I
go.
don't keep up with it too much, but I definitely read it from like issues 1 to 16 when it was first running.
Or at all. I mean, let's see. Any more questions? Keep them coming, you guys.
Oh yeah, hold on. Let's do David Walton's while we're at it.
Yeah, I'll do it. Where's he at?
Let's go to good old D McWalt.
D
Good old
Walt.
D Walton. He had some good questions, but I told him we answered most of the ones that he had earlier on in the show. But let's get to the one that he asked now that we can touch on. Is he was wondering what we think of what we think the future will hold for superhero games with the addition of virtual reality consoles like the PS4 and phone devices.
VR is the future. It's fucking here. Honestly, I've seen a lot of reviews. I play on PC, so I'm personally waiting for the PC headsets that are Steam compatible to become a little bit more affordable because it's right now it's up in the 600 to 800, sometimes even 900 range, and that's a little much for me. So I'm waiting for that to become a little bit more accessible. But if you really, really want to get into VR right now, the best thing on the market is by far PlayStation. PlayStation VR, the bundle, I think it's $500. You get the new PS4 Pro, you get the headset, the goggles or whatever. You get the PlayStation Move controllers, which is how you move everything. And it's the new version of the console, so it's got a better operating system, and it's just revamped to be able to run VR a lot better. So that's definitely the most affordable thing if you're trying to get into VR, and it is awesome. VR is amazing for more than just video games. So if you're trying to get into that, definitely go with PlayStation VR. And I'm not even someone that plays PlayStation. That's just facts.
So you said more than just excuse me, you said more than just video games. What does that mean? Some VR or some shit?
It's funny that
Virtual reality, pornography, virtual reality, shopping.
down there into the gutter, didn't you? I'm talking. Do you guys remember on Plastic and Pain? I think it was actually over the summer. I was posting up a bunch of 360 photos that I took with my friend's 360 camera. So I was doing a full.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Right. So I was doing those full 360 displays, and in VR, you could actually hop into that photo and like stand where the camera is placed, and you can actually look around and be inside of your display. Now, I was doing some real ghetto shit to put everything together. It was just a bunch of random dial pieces I had, so it wasn't as seamless as I wanted to make it. There's a lot of things that could be better. I was just doing a lot of prototyping with it, but it's definitely put me on the market for VR and a 360 camera because I want to be able to really like get good at that and create some really cool pieces of fully 360 action figure displays. Probably shouldn't have said that on chat because, you know, some of our biggest haters are frequent subscribers and listeners. And so they might try to take that idea, but hey, it's out there.
Hi.
Yeah,
How's it going?
Yeah, and then they'll make fun of you saying that you took the idea.
Never heard of her.
Right.
Am I crazy or is that silly?
Fucking stupid motherfucker.
Right. Anyway, moving on. What's the other Walton question?
That was the question. That was the other one that he had. We'd already answered before. It was what we thought of Lando and what we thought about the director for Deadpool.
Well, while we're on the video game question, what do we think of the Nintendo Switch? Did you guys see the video for that?
Hate it.
Man,
I'm a little like out of the loop.
Stay in your lane, Nintendo. Stay in your lane. There is a reason why the GameCube.
Shit. I don't even know what's going on with all of this shit. Honestly.
Basically,
seeing their lanes. Well, just to kind of catch everybody up, their new console is called the Nintendo Switch. We thought it was called something else at first, the NX, but that's just like how we thought the Wii was going to be called the Revolution or whatever. So now it's called the Nintendo Switch, and it's basically a mix of a console and a handheld. So, you know, the controllers plug in on the side of the a little screen that you can then take off the base, and you can play your games on mobile, and then you can plug it back into its base, and it goes onto your television, and you pull off the side controllers, and you just play them, you know, either by attaching them to like a home console controller, like it's just a controller, or you can use like a pro controller and still play it on your TV. But the whole idea is you can play basically full games in this.
here will be the true test, and I'm going to use the chat for this one. So for you guys in the chat, I'm going to need you to actually contribute. Press 1 if the only game that you are going to probably be playing on there is Super Smash Brothers related. Press 1 for me. Press 1.
Mario Kart would be really good too. Like any of those party games would be really cool.
Exactly. So it's like, but all of those games, I'm assuming that you could probably use a GameCube controller for. So it's like the fact that you're like, really, are you going to be taking Super Smash Brothers mobile?
If enough people do it, if it becomes a phenomenon like Pokemon Go was in its first month, but continues, I think
think about it. Think about the control scheme that's required for Smash Brothers to actually be played. That does not lend itself for like mobile play at all.
The controller itself looks super uncomfortable. It's
exactly
flat.
So if you are going to even be playing games like that, you're probably going to be using a GameCube controller. So it's like it's literally pointless to even use the Switch controller.
But what I do see them doing is creating new, not just a Switch controller that's like a flat panel and it has some little triggers on the side. I can see them making a more ergonomically designed one that fits in just the same.
Probably, but at the same time, it's like the GameCube controller, in my opinion, is one of the best controllers ever made. Like in terms of just functionality and comfort, it's one of the best.
That's funny because I was going to say the Xbox 360 one was, which is exactly what their Pro controller looks like.
Yeah, I think the Xbox 360 is one of the best controllers for sure. GameCube was pretty good.
I use the 360 controller too a lot. I mean, I love both of those designs.
Yeah, that's the one I use when I have controllers for my PC games. Is the Xbox 360.
It's like the aesthetic of the Switch, though. It just looks very Xbox oriented, and I'm just like, do you, boo-boo, do you. It's okay to be Nintendo. It's okay.
And it's interesting. I mean, on that note, it's interesting that they would choose Skyrim, a highly third-party game that's getting.
Oh yeah.
It's getting actually a relaunch. Next week? The HD.
Man, if only if only Pancho were here, he would have a
Yes.
shitload of a lot to say. But just
We must sound like idiots. And Poncho's listening to us, probably finishing up at work. Like, no, stop talking.
they don't know what they're talking about.
Y'all don't even know. Y'all don't even know.
Basically.
Yeah, when it comes to the NX, just my initial opinion of it is I think it looks all right. I definitely plan on buying it. I don't know. I don't really consider that controller is going to be what most people are going to use anyways. Everybody's going to be buying a pro controller.
Right. But taking it handheld too is what I think is the big thing for them, and that's why they're going to want to sell a more ergonomic, kind of pro-esque for the new controller that plugs in on the side of the screen, because that does not look comfortable. I mean, for me, it looks just as flat as the Game Boy Advance and the Game Boy Advance SP, and those were highly uncomfortable.
Yeah. Honestly, the only way that I would see myself purchasing the Switch is if they do release a Super Smash Bros. Melee HD remake. That's the only way. And it has to be Melee. Like, I cannot fucking stand Brawl, and I sure as fuck can't stand Brawl. I can't stand Smash 4. Like, it
Right.
needs to be Melee, like, mechanics with better graphics. That's the only way that I could see myself purchasing it.
Yeah, it has to be Melee for sure. You know, it's funny that you mentioned I was just at a party on Friday, and they had Super Smash Bros. Brawl set up for guests, and we were playing a few rounds. And
Why would
I
they?
gotten into it too much, but I mean, I was never that good at Melee to begin with. But I had a cousin who was on the tournament circuit, so he taught me a few things when I would go visit him. You know, wave dashing and mini jumping and all that weird shit. And I missed it because I did get like good enough at it that I could do it, and I seemed good to people who didn't. But I was never that good compared to like him and his friends. But I did miss doing that when playing, especially because we were using the GameCube controller. So
Yeah. Brawl's a piece of shit.
I haven't picked up that controller in what, fucking 10 years now.
Yeah, Brawl is like literally the worst thing that's ever happened to Smash Brothers. Like the fact that you know how, I mean, you're a gamer, you know what RNG is, like random number generator. So basically something random in the game occurs that could like basically change your experience of it. So it's like it's just a completely random instance that could cause you to lose, for instance.
Sir,
So
I
it's
once
like,
played keyboard when RNG fucked me on a loot roll in World of Warcraft.
yeah. So basically, RNG I mean, there's levels to RNG, obviously, but there is a 1% chance for this particular one that just ruins everything and has caused people to lose like championship matches. In fact, but basically, if you're like dashing in Brawl, your character has a 1% chance of tripping, and when you trip, you are essentially defenseless and you can't move out of it.
Oh, is that what was happening?
Yeah, you can trip and your character just like falls over and you have to wait like 2 seconds in order to like roll out. It's ridiculous.
Well,
It's literally it's like here's competitive gaming, here's Brawl. They're on the opposite side of each other. It's not a good game.
okay, let's move it on. We got a couple more questions here. When Hasbro releases villains for the X-Men waves, what villains would we want to see? I'll go first real quick because I had it already from when you said it earlier. Mr. Sinister.
Yeah. Mr. Sinister, a classic Sabretooth to go up against the Brown Wolverine. If we could get a better Mystique, that's what we need. A new Mystique would be amazing.
It's 23 too, but it'll probably be the Lady Wolverine costume.
I would love that. I would love a Wolverine X-23 costume. That would be sick. Or X-23 Wolverine costume.
Might even do X-Force. Once they have the mold, they might even just do X-Force, give her a different head.
Yeah, that would be an easy repaint for them.
Right.
Who else would I like in terms of X-Men villains? I mean, I know that aren't we going to be getting the Dark Phoenix?
I could see them doing that, but maybe in a box set, honestly.
No, but they showed it, right? I know that they showed it at SDCC.
They did? A Dark Phoenix?
Yeah. They didn't show like the figure, but they showed like the prototype of it or whatever.
Like
concept of some
It wasn't
sort.
even a prototype. Yeah, it was concept art. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's one that we're going to be getting. That's good. Yeah, let me think of some other ones. I mean, Silver Samurai eventually.
Lady Deathstrike, I said.
Oh yeah, that would be a sick one for sure.
You need a definitely a new updated Lady Deathstrike. No question about that.
That'd be sick. What was that one character that we got during the Red
I feel
Hulk
like
wave?
they kind of like announced the Lady Deathstrike for a future Wolverine thing or something. I don't know. I feel like I've seen or heard that. I don't know.
What was the name of that one character that we did get in figure form already, but it was a terrible figure. It was during the Red Hulk wave. Spiral, I think.
Spiral.
Spiral.
Yeah, I would love to see a new Spiral. That'd be cool.
God,
Yeah.
that Spiral was terrible.
They could
Yeah.
even use, in a way, if they find a way to make the body with the extra arms, if they find a way to do that correctly, they might even be able to reuse that for, like a 6-arm Spider-Man or something like that.
Oh yeah, 100%. They could easily do
And
that.
I'm still super salty that we don't fucking have a Danny Moonstar.
Oh my God, yeah, I'm mad as fuck about that too. But I think that once they start branching off into the New Mutants stuff, because they did announce a New Mutants movie, so that's like our best chance to really get.
And
that
there's a
sort of
TV show coming out.
There's a what coming out?
There's a TV show on Fox called Legion. But
Oh yeah, Legion. Yeah,
and that's
it's
somehow, I think it's going to be tying into the Bryan Singer movies, if I'm not mistaken.
it is. It is, unfortunately. God, kill me. I'm so tired of Singerverse. It's like Singerverse and Snyderverse are synonymous with each other in terms of how much I dislike both of them.
Somebody in the chat just mentioned Kawaii Raccoon mentioned Craig Warwick's Spiral. I was actually going to mention that too.
Oh yeah, Craig is amazing with customs. Like if you haven't seen it already, check out his Doctor Doom. His Doctor Doom is like the tits.
Well, when we were talking about passing on the collection and Glenn leaving his stuff with his loved ones, I think Craig just touched up one of Glenn's customs that fell off a shelf, so that was pretty touching of him. Shout out to Craig Warwick, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And just to go back a little bit and touch on like loved ones getting figures and shit. I'm sure Craig has been in contact with Glenn's family about some of his shit. No question about that.
Yes. Here's Avenger Vasti. He's got a question. He asks, how do you guys feel about Ant-Man pictures with everyday life surroundings? Personally, he thinks it's lazy.
Same.
I mean, yeah, it's something you could do I mean, I've seen Instagram accounts where they make a thing of this. Like their entire account is Ant-Man doing shit. Like they take him to Disneyland. They take him to Joe's Crab Shack. They take him everywhere.
Huh. Spare me.
Exactly.
So, and I'm not into that, but I can see how the average, Mom and Joe, Pop, who are just hanging out on Instagram, who just like to follow things, like the kind of moms that repost memes of the Minions and shit like that on Facebook. I can see
that kill memes.
Yeah,
like
no doubt. There's something for everybody. Something for everybody. But you know what else I don't like either is I hate this trend of like, and I guess this has been going on for a while, of like the throwing sand shots and all of that shit. Like, yeah, I like it when it's done well, when the figures are actually posed and it looks like they are reacting to, whatever's going on. But if you just got a figure there and you just throw some sand or dirt and take a picture, it's just, that's lazy. That's like just, and really it's not, because the act of catching, the shutter speed to catch the thing, that's a whole thing in itself. But still, like, I want it to look like whatever it is you're trying to make it look like. Like, I want to see.
And honestly, it's like when they do those shots, it's out of scale even. Like the sand is out of scale because it's real life sand.
Sometimes. But like, it's people that like do that shit every day. Like every
I know.
day.
It's like I know that there's that one account on Instagram, Sergeant Bananas. Like he's pretty much like the dude when it comes to that. And it's just like, please don't emulate his style. Like, please develop your own style.
Good question about that. But yeah, I just want to see people like just go to distance and shit. Like, like just I hate half-ass shots that like get so much fucking love on Instagram. It's just like, yo, y'all looking at the same thing I'm looking at, because this shit is kind of whack, actually.
I mean, there's a lot of, the thing about Instagram is a lot of people who are, there's the amateurs and all that stuff too, but a lot of the people with these big accounts who get a lot of likes and stuff have done so because they genuinely take really good photos. Their photography is excellent, astounding, and they do some great practical effects even if, like I see a lot of like blood spray stuff where like people are getting decapitated and their head is in the air. A lot of that is Photoshop and stuff too. the point is the photo comes out really good. It's good photography and the effects are well done, even if they are digital. But a lot of them don't take the time to like really properly like pose the figure, you know? Like their posing is not necessarily the priority, and it may be a product of them. A lot of the time they're doing this outdoors, and so maybe they're standing the figure in sand, or maybe the wind is hitting it as you're taking the photo. Like there's any number of variables that could change either the angle of where someone is looking, or where their leg is placed, or maybe their hip isn't turned all the way. Like there's all these little like minutia to the posing that I think could be a lot better, even if the photography is like out of this world astounding. So that's just one of the things I notice on Instagram that doesn't necessarily bother me, but I do notice it, and I'm like, well, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, no doubt.
Moving right along, did Hasbro, or why did Hasbro make a comic version of Old Man Logan instead of the movie version? Well, because Old Man Logan is still currently in the comics. He's a time-displaced version of Old Man Logan who's rocking with the current Avengers, even though Wolverine's dead, which is funny.
Yep.
And you know what? I don't mind it because everyone's going to be swapping the Old Man Logan head off and just putting on a regular Logan head on there anyway for a street clothes look anyway.
And if you really want a movie Logan, just go get one of the old Toy Biz Hugh Jackman heads, or maybe find a head cast of a shrunken down, maybe even Diamond Select one. There you go. There's your movie Logan.
But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that Old Man Logan figure because
Right.
I don't care about Old Man. You know, it's not that I don't care about Old Man Logan. It's just not enough other supporting characters from that story out yet. And I don't think that particular, what they've shown so far for that Old Man Logan, I don't think that head looks that great either.
And it's not even the look from the Old Man Logan comic by I think Steve McNiven, right? Or
it was
Steve McNiven. So I think in that comic he wears like a trench coat, he has a cowboy hat. It's a different look altogether. This look is very much from the all new, all different, the current look.
Right.
Honestly, if we could get Marvel Legends that are designed after Steve McNiven's design, that would just make me so happy.
That's like, I think he probably is my favorite artist, man.
He's top 10 dead or alive, like legit top 10 dead or alive.
Question about it. Anything that's the thing about comic books to me. The thing that's always going to draw me in first is the artwork. So like if you get me with the artwork, I'll stick around and see what the story's like. But yeah, Steve McNiven on everything he's done in the past 10 years has just been fucking phenomenal, man. No question about it.
And when we talk about X-Men, Brian Carter wants our thoughts on Marvel bringing the X-Men back to comics with the Resurrection event coming up.
Well, what's that? I'm not even aware of that. What's the premise? What's going on?
I haven't even really done a lot of research into it. I know that they ended up releasing that Death of X storyline, but I've been pretty much passing on all things mutant related in terms of like Marvel publication, because it's just like they're either trying to kill them off or they're trying to put them into something else. They don't have really good writers on X-Men books for a reason right now, because they don't have the film properties. So it's quite literally a deliberate strategy in order to tank the tanking X-Men's, like, I guess their their value or whatever, however you want to say it. But it's like if they start investing in those X books and giving us better writers and better artists on them, that's when I'll probably pick it up again. But it's gonna take something like big, and they need to stop with these fucking events. We have Death of X going on right now, and then now you're saying that they're going to have Resurrection. It's like 2 events back to back, and then they were already doing basically an event with that, the release of Age of Apocalypse.
Yep.
So it's like, I'm tired of event stories.
Yep. Me too.
I'm tired of it.
Yeah, that's what's happening. So it's going to be, according to this press release, it's going to be Death of X. That's what's going on right now, right?
Yeah.
And then we're going to have Inhumans versus X-Men. Then after that is Resurrection.
I'm sick of fucking heroes fighting each other too. What the fuck?
For real, like, okay, basically, this is what Marvel needs right now. They need to make the Masters of Evil a team again and make them stop doing their whole individual crusade shit. Have, like, a real group of supervillains and give them a book, not Thunderbolts. I want villains, like bad motherfuckers that are out here trying to kill people. Have them be in a group book together doing horrible, vile shit and validate a response from the Avengers. Like, validate it. I'm tired of seeing the Avengers fight like these extraterrestrial beings that have like pretty much no impact on Earth. We need another Dark Avengers right now.
And it looks like the event is going to begin with a new Iceman single comic, X-Men #1, or Iceman #1.
Yeah, I did see like a promo image for that.
Yeah, there's going to be Jean Grey, there's going to be Weapon X, there's going to be X-Men Blue and X-Men Gold, which I guess is kind of exciting.
That's cool. Are they going to give us like teams that are in corresponding costumes to that Jim Lee era of gold and blue? That would be cool.
Know. All we have right now is the titles because like you said, there's still this other stuff going on. So this is just the logo and the announcement and the press release that's been shown. We haven't seen any official art or anything like that yet. Just the cover for Iceman and a couple other things.
I mean, if they like dumped out all of the X-Men that they have right now and then just took the X-Men that are in the X-92 universe that are based on the television show and then brought them into like main Marvel continuity, I think that would be hilarious. I think that would be funny as fuck. That would be the ultimate 90s kid dream.
All right, so let's talk about what figures do you guys think are the best of 2016 so far?
Wolverine.
Definitely that Wolverine. I mean,
Wolverine at #1. You have like
topic because I think we're gonna do a big, end of the year list sort of thing.
Punisher's up there. Ultimate Spider-Man. Miles Morales is up there.
That Mezco Daredevil is definitely up there.
Definitely. Well, if it's talking about just Marvel Legends, then that's different. But
Fictional it's Motoko Kusanagi from Figma. I think that's from Ghost in the Shell, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, moving on. Let's talk. Nobody's watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., right? And Pharaoh's not here to hate on it.
I'm not watching it.
Yeah,
I'm watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh, okay. Rick, what do you think of Ghost Rider so far?
Well, Ghost Rider is the tits.
Yeah, it's probably the reason to tune in at this point. It's pretty exciting when he's on screen. And
all of my friends that only watch to see him on screen.
Right.
The show is just whatever. I don't think the show is terrible like people make it out to be. It's not some terrible cheese fest, writing fest like most of the DC stuff. I think it's a decent show, and I think the Ghost Rider is really good. If anything, if you don't mind, watching a show that you don't give a shit about, Ghost Rider's really, really good.
Yeah, the effects for him are really well done. And actually, in this last episode, they had Ghost Rider versus Hellfire. The character they have is Hellfire in the game, or in the show. So it was cool to see him. He was about to, his power is that he's almost like Gambit, actually. Like he puts explosive energy. I know that's not what Gambit does, but he puts explosive energy into shit that he touches and he throws it, it explodes. So he was holding a chain and the chain was on fire and he's about to swing it to the girl.
What Gambit does, actually. It's kinetic, right?
Yeah, but that's kinetic energy, except Hellfire, I think, is more meant to be like literal fire, and then the shit just explodes. But he was holding a chain, and he's about to whip these girls, and the chain was on fire, and then Ghost Rider catches the chain, and then a battle ensues between these two, flame-wielding characters. So that whole thing was pretty cool. I liked that.
To whip some girls with the chain.
Hey,
Black
man,
Snake
it's called
Moan.
Black Snake Moan for a reason.
Jinx, Rick. Oh my goodness.
I definitely recommend anyone that likes Ghost Rider, especially this version of Ghost Rider, check it out. He's done very well. The show itself, like I said, is not the greatest show, but he's done very well. So I definitely think if you like Ghost Rider, definitely check it out.
Where is this? I don't even know anything about this shit. Where is this coming on?
This is Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. season 4, and it's on TV right now.
So wait, Ghost Rider appeared on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, he's one of the recurring characters this season.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of his, what the whole season's called. It's subtitled Ghost Rider, but it's not Johnny Blaze. It's Robbie Reyes.
The whack one.
That's it.
So it's the current Ghost Rider, so he drives the car and all that stuff, but it works pretty well for the show, I think. I don't know
and it brings on a lot of questions of what he does.
They're tying it into Doctor Strange a little bit as far as some of the more supernatural elements that they're putting in the show now.
I don't fucking like Ghost Rider in the car. I don't like that concept at all.
Yeah, that's Ghost Driver, not Ghost Rider.
Right. Ghost Rider would be in the back seat, but
Ghost rides the whip.
I do think that I do think they're going to tie it into Doctor Strange. It's one of the MacGuffins this season is the Darkhold, which is like a book of spells of some kind. and it is something that comes up in the comics. John, you might know more about that. The Dark Hold.
They should have.
Wait, what about what? I'm sorry, I was reading something.
The Dark Hold is one of the big plot devices here in this season, and that's something I think is going to tie into Doctor Strange, because in the comics, I believe he's related to that.
I am like unfamiliar with that entirely. Wait, this is Ghost Rider stuff. I'm not gonna lie, I am not a huge fan of Ghost Rider.
Gotcha. Well, where's Diego when you need him?
I stopped caring about Ghost Rider when after the whole penance arc. Like I stopped caring about it.
Oh, I thought you were saying Nicolas Cage.
No, well, I mean, coincidentally after that too. Yeah. That was exactly when I stopped caring about that character.
No matter what, I always think he's not turning into the Ghost Rider. He's turning into Nicolas Cage. Moving on.
That was just such terrible casting. Fucking come on, people.
And they try to
He's gonna steal the burning Declaration of Independence.
They try to comb his hair down, a little bowl cut. It's terrible. Someone had a good question. Who are your favorite comic artists?
Steve McNiven, Jack Kirby, Todd McFarlane, John Romita, not John Romita Jr., John Romita.
Yeah.
Let's see, who else? Fuck.
What's that
That's
chick?
actually pretty difficult.
Chick that's pretty decent too. What's her name?
Sarah Pacelli?
Is that her? I don't know.
She did Ultimate Spider-Man.
Donald Trump, ladies and gentlemen.
This is biased because I was able to have a very personal experience with her, but Sana Takeda, I went out to dinner with her at San Diego Comic-Con, and she was able to draw for me. She did a X-23 for me, and it was fucking incredible. And I think Emiya got like 3 sketches himself, and it was an incredible experience.
Emiya is the master of getting sketches from motherfuckers, isn't he?
Fucking finessing it.
It's because he has money.
We just
cheapest bastard ever.
we knew her manager, so it ended up working in our favor, thankfully. And she was just the nicest lady, and I love her art. I love that style being brought here to the U.S. And
well, translate. Her manager was in for 70 kilos of cocaine to Emiya, and Emiya made her draw 100 photos.
And it was a clean exchange, man. It was a clean exchange.
But, in terms of, I guess, more artists that are up there in that top 10 or just in the favorites list, David Mazzucchelli, who did Batman Year One, Brian Boland, who's known best for his work on Batman the Killing Joke, but you guys will know him from 2000 AD and Judge Dredd and all that stuff. Steve Dillon, who just passed away.
On the subject, it's worth noting that he did just pass away.
Yeah, he's an amazing artist. I know that a lot of people have been posting stuff from like his work on Punisher, but I know him best from Preacher, and his work in that is just beautiful. It's beautiful stuff. Dave Gibbons is definitely up there. Dave Gibbons is one of my all-time favorites. He's the artist from Watchmen. Frank Miller, obviously, for a multitude of reasons. Steve Ditko.
Oh man, we could go on.
Literally, I could go on forever. Like, there's so many artists that I pull from in terms of just like they have molded me in my aesthetics for what I like to look at. Like, they just make really good art.
So moving on, Brian Carter wants our thoughts on Miles Morales and Spider-Gwen being a couple. Do you guys ship that? I added that. I wanted Miles and Kamala to be together.
Yeah, I would have rather seen Kamala Khan and Miles Morales being a couple. I mean, I just love their interaction, and it sucks because they already have a better history, and I mean, just being on the Avengers and whatnot, they already have a history together. So I think that would have been cute, but
I didn't even know Gwen and Morales were a thing.
Right.
They aren't a thing yet. They're gonna be a thing. That's the thing.
Terrible.
Knowing about this about 2 seconds ago, I can say that I am okay with it, because if they were to have babies together, it would only perpetuate the whole mixed master race that our world is inevitably moving towards. So I'm cool with it.
Dude. I'm already there, man. Yeah. I was 25, 26 years ahead of all of the aesthetics.
You hipster.
I am the mixed master race.
You
Yeah,
are.
I don't quite understand like
I am.
how Gwen and how Peter aren't like both obsessed with each other being alive.
I know, right? That was the thing, and to my understanding, right now he's not dating anyone. He's not with the Anna Maria. He's not with Mary Jane. Mary Jane's currently working for Tony Stark, so he's free. But I think the
So
Gwen
he's
Stacy,
on himself.
yeah. But I think that Spider Gwen is younger. Like she's teen. She still lives at home and stuff, so it would be weird.
Yeah, I suppose that does make sense. I always forget the age difference, but I just thought to myself like, damn, dude, the person you were most in love with and you were responsible for killing turns up dead, and you're just like, oh, that's cool.
Turns up alive, you mean?
Yeah, turns up alive, and you're just like, oh, well, all right.
But yeah, that's that age.
Nate Farver mentioned that the Darkhold book is in the Carnage comic right now. So yes, it's something from the comics, and
Okay.
and it should tie into Doctor Strange because I believe Doctor Strange is going to premiere, well, really at some point after, no, actually during the run of this season. So maybe we'll see a little bit of a tie-in episode, unless it's too late to film.
Wait, they're having Benedict Cumberbatch show up on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Well, I don't think we'll get that, but it is going to tie in somehow. Like the book
Oh,
is somehow related to something. I don't know.
I was about to freak out. I was like, wait, what? Like, they actually secured that?
Be in theaters while the season is still going on, so it's not. It'll be just like in Civil War where they had some repercussions, or rather, Winter Soldier where they had repercussions where they had to clean up, what was left of the
Yeah.
Tri. Same thing happened after Thor: The Dark World where they had to clean up the mess in the UK that Thor left when he was doing his thing.
See, that's the thing that makes me not want to watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because it's like they're just dealing with the repercussions of stuff that happens in the films, but it's like, is it important? Is it something that's like going to really map out the future of the MCU, or is it something that's just like, oh, something happened in the film?
Well, like I was saying, if anybody, like, I personally don't, it wasn't that big of a deal to me. But if anybody's a big fan of Inhumans, there's pretty much no choice. You better go watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because I don't even know if we're gonna get a movie at this point. They took it off of the release docket. And at this point, I don't even know why you would do one. They answered so many questions. I mean, yeah, we didn't get the Medusa and we didn't get the Triton and stuff like that, but still, they answer so many questions in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. that have to do with Inhumans. It's kind of like, well, there's no wonder that they took the movie off the schedule because they touched everything other than those high-ranking characters.
Yeah, I mean, it just sucks to know that they could do the royal family on television when they really are deserving of a silver screen appearance opposed to just being shipped off the TV. It's kind of unfortunate.
John, it is worth noting though that one of the seasons of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. did directly lead into Age of Ultron, so they do tie in. It depends how soon they get things in order, because I don't know how soon in advance they film, say, Doctor Strange, and maybe they have to go back and rewrite things for television since the shooting schedule is different.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I'm just waiting for it to get like critically acclaimed, honestly, and then I'll pick up on that season.
What is your most disliked comic character?
Most disliked?
Yeah.
At this moment, it's not that I hate him. It's just he gets too much love. Deadpool. I'm tired of it. I'm over the character now. It's like he's become so monetized that I've just been turned off to him.
He's too
like, yeah, exactly. I will take the hipster approach. the character that, yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think. Are there any like homophobic, xenophobic, racist comic book characters that come to mind? Sexist, all of the horrible isms and eas.
Well, Captain America, if you were truly from the 40s.
Well, 40s Captain America sucks ass.
Don't do that, evildoer! That's not okay!
You think we'll do Halcyon Commando's Marvel Legends team? Probably not at once.
Say it again.
Do you think we'll get a new Howling Commandos Marvel Legends team?
I don't think so.
Probably
No.
not. What I'm saying.
Yeah,
Probably.
that's definitely not
It
happening.
would be pretty dope if they. Well, I think they already missed the mark on that. If they wanted to do that, it should have been like a SDCC box set or some shit like that back when the first Avenger movie came out. But
Definitely.
so they might have
Yeah.
missed the opportunity. on that one.
Back.
Only
That
way I could.
would be dope if we got some Marvel Legends, World War II soldier figures and shit to go along with a cap and a box set. That would have been pretty fucking amazing, actually.
I
Oh,
think
yeah.
that we're long past that, though. There are so many other things that are much more important to get right now.
No question. No question.
All right. What are your favorite animes?
Right now,
Man. You go first, John. I gotta think, man.
Fuck. On behalf of Pancho, Super is neat. It's not like super dramatically compelling or anything like that to me, but it's in terms of just it being a fighting anime, it's cool. In terms of like a parody anime, when One Punch Man comes back, that's dope. When Attack on Titan season 2 comes out, that'll be good, I'm sure. Berserk, love it. What was the name of that other one? My Hero Academia.
Yeah, My Hero
That
Academia
one's-
was really good.
That's a good one. I haven't really been like super up on anime lately, but those are ones that come to mind.
I used to like Naruto back when I was a kid. I don't really watch anime these days, though. A few that I've seen that I do like, though, are Naruto. I liked.
Wait, are we talking all time, or are we just talking right now?
I thought he was talking all time. That's why I wanted
Yeah,
to take a
saying
minute.
what
to
about
think.
favorites?
Oh, if we're talking all time, then give me a minute. Shit.
Some that I really like are I mentioned Naruto, Full Metal Alchemist. I watched all the way through. That's a great one.
Yes.
Sword Art Online. I haven't seen a lot of that, but what I have seen, I think, is pretty good. That's honestly all I can mention at the top of my head, though.
Sword Art Online is just like dot hack sign. Like that's the only reason why I don't like Sword Art as much. Like dot hack was something that I got introduced to through like Toonami.
Well, the thing about Sword Art Online was that it was just a side project from the creator that really took off and got popular. So there's not like a whole crazy amount of detail put into the series like there is with Excel World, that is his quote unquote masterpiece work that people don't actually give a shit about, which sucks. That has much more detail put into it and a lot more science put into what they do in the series and stuff like that. It's a shame.
Interesting.
But back to
All-time
the
favorite?
topic.
Go for it. Go
John.
for it, Rick. You got
All
it. Blow it up.
Well, two of the series that are some of my favorites of all time that I desperately want Boog to watch would be Berserk and all of the Fate series, Fate Stay Night, Fate Zero. Incredible series. A more recent, more like fun-loving anime that I really enjoyed was Gundam Build Fighters. I think it's really a shame that the people of the children of the U.S. didn't get Gundam Build Fighters here, because it really could have birthed a new beginning for kids wanting to build model kits. It was really lighthearted but fun show to experience, and it does suck to me that that kids don't get to experience that, and I hope they change their mind in the future. Dragon Ball, of course, every iteration other than GT pretty much is
Yep.
incredible to me. So nostalgic. I mean, yeah, the writing's not the best. There's a lot of problems, but to me, it's the nostalgia that I get from it is unmatched from anything else that I see on TV. Sword Art Online was a good show. I personally love Excel World more than I like Sword Art Online, which Excel World takes place like 40 years in the future of Sword Art Online. It's in the same universe. And like I said, I think there's a lot more detail put into that series, and there's a lot more heart put into that series from the creator. And it's a shame that people don't give that show the chance that they give Sword Art Online. There's just so many great shows. One Punch Man. Stuff. The two that I mentioned though are the ones that I always go back and rewatch. Berserk and the Fate series. Those are two of the greatest series of all time. It's so funny that we talk about a topic like this when Emmy is not around.
Right.
I'm sure he'd be
I was just
giving us
thinking
like
about
a
that.
1,000-word
per hour.
a 1,000-word essay of all the animes that
Here
that he loves and stuff like that. I love a series that got some play here like quite a few years ago. So it's called Durarara. That series is really good. It was on Toonami, I guess, or Nick at Night, whatever it was at the time.
We forgot to mention Cowboy Bebop. That's another great one.
Yeah,
Yes.
Cowboy Bebop is fantastic. Soul Eater, at least the first half of Soul Eater to me was incredible. I like a lot of like sadder animes, not really directed more towards the male audience, I suppose. Well, they are the male audience, but not the U.S. male audience. I like when I watch a show and I get depressed as fuck when I watch it.
We got a few more questions here. Let's hit them kind of rapid fire and let's wrap it up because we're a little over time now. So is Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider going to be in Avengers Infinity War? Probably not.
Probably
Don't.
not.
No,
Don't.
probably not.
We haven't seen any other film or TV characters make their way into the films quite yet. So until we see some of the main ones, such as Daredevil and even
That's going to be the real test. If BD makes it into Infinity War, then that opens up the door. But if he's not getting anywhere near it, you damn sure Ghost Rider's not getting anywhere near it.
Right. He's not even going to be Ghost Rider come the end of this season, to be honest.
Yeah.
Let's see. Do you guys think Miles Morales will ever be Spider-Man, or the main Spider-Man, or will Peter Parker always be number one?
They'll kill off Peter some way. They always have to.
Oh yeah.
They'll bring him back. They're always
Exactly. It's cyclical. It's cyclical.
Everyone dies. Everyone comes back in the Marvel universe.
The fucked up thing is when they have like a story where Miles gets killed and he gets killed like through watch police brutality. Watch.
That'd be crazy. Actually,
that would be fucked up. And I'm betting if they do it, it'll be so controversial, but it will lead to gun reform in America. It would.
Dude, I'm with you there. I'm highly with you there.
Watch it. I'm predicting the future, guys.
So Spider-Man or Marvel is going to kill off Miles Morales Spider-Man in a Trayvon Martin-esque or some kind of a shooting way.
I'm telling you, it might happen.
The media into a fucking frenzy. There's going to be actually going to have a conversation about gun reform.
It would be great.
Hey, wait, we didn't get to hear what John's favorite anime are of all time. John, where are you?
Fuck. Okay, Cowboy Bebop is up there. Code Geass, Neon Genesis Evangelion, Samurai Champloo. I like Kill la Kill.
Eureka 7 is good too.
Oh yeah, Eureka 7's definitely up there. Full Metal Alchemist, but specifically Brotherhood, I like way more. It's how it was intended to be shown. Mobile Suit Gundam with RX-78, that's one of the better ones. I enjoy Mobile Suit Gundam, like Gundam Wing and stuff. Trying to think what else. Paranoia Agent. I don't know if too many people are familiar with that one, but that one was on Toonami. I enjoyed that one a lot. Let's see. I mean, I guess Naruto, but specifically Shippuden. What else? Death Note is one of my all-time favorites for sure.
Yeah. Cerebral classic, man.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty much all I can think of at the moment. I mean, I enjoyed Yu Yu Hakusho as well.
Evangelion is incredible. It's truly a masterpiece work of Japanese anime.
Definitely.
All right, let's move right along. How do you feel about or rather, Nate Farber wants to know if the Sandman bath is up for pre-order anywhere.
No.
Not yet, right?
No, not yet.
Okay.
That's a 2017 wave, so
Yeah, I don't think anyone's going to be getting it in December. I know that a lot of people have been saying that. Oh, they might ship it late.
It's possible. They do often put out a wave right around Christmas time. So
yeah.
Well, if they do it, it's going to be in China first.
Definitely.
Hey, nobody mentioned Trigun, by the way.
Man, I said Trigun when we were I almost said Emiya, when Rick was listing some of his stuff off. I think it was right after Bebop. I said that.
Okay.
Get your ears open, man.
Wilson, when will Fox give up and let Disney get X-Men and Fantastic Four for MCU films?
When it stops being profitable for them.
Yeah. We talked about that a little while ago, but yeah, it's about the money, man. It's so much money to be made in films, and with these, it's so many little little different ways to make a lot of money with these films and shit. And these execs and these people, they don't give a fuck about you or me or what
Pharaoh.
you care
Yeah,
about.
nobody wants to miss out on the money train.
Yeah, it's too much money. They don't give a fuck about their depiction of what a nerd is in their basement, you know what I'm saying, caring about comic accuracy or about any of that shit. They don't care about none of that shit. They see green and they going, man. That's it.
That said, though, it might be more likely we'll get Fantastic Four back than X-Men anytime soon.
Definitely.
I mean, X-Men is their Avengers. Like, they're just not going to let that go. But Fantastic Four, I think they might, relinquish a little bit. Maybe
The only
Sony's-
benefit that they have from keeping Fantastic Four is just for its villains. That's
right.
it.
Fucking MCU Doctor Doom would be so cool.
I said it earlier, but if they didn't already cast Mads Mikkelsen as that stupid, forgettable Doctor Strange villain, then he would have been perfect for Victor. I swear to God,
Yeah.
that'd have been one of the best casting decisions ever.
I agree with that. If Hasbro releases the Reavers, would you be interested in those characters? Only if we get the guy with tank treads for legs.
Yes, he has to be the Build-A-Figure.
Yeah.
He has to. That's it.
Tank tread legs guy.
And we talked about Lady Deathstrike, so put her with the team, and because she's got to be the anchor of that team. Nobody's gonna really know the other characters like that except true comic fans and shit.
And Mike Odom also says that do we think it's too late for the MCU to get the X-Men? Yeah, probably. It's not going to happen. X-Men are not joining the MCU anytime soon. Fantastic Four, they could still somehow get worked in, I can see.
MCU doesn't even need the X-Men right now, honestly. Like,
For real. Just let Avengers do them right now.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Oh, his name is Bone Crusher, the guy with the treads.
Yeah, because he crushes people's bones when he rolls over them.
When are we gonna get a Build-A-Figure Bonesaw from the first film of Spider-Man?
Bonesaw.
He's ready.
I'm gonna share you guys a video that was sent to me by one of my roommates earlier that involves Macho Man Randy Savage.
The cream of
right to the tippy top, yeah.
The cream always rises to the top. Have you guys seen? Has anyone seen the Miles Morales in stores yet?
No.
Wait, what?
Yeah, dude, I saw that wave in store months ago.
Did you? I didn't.
Brian, where do you live? I'm talking to Brian Carter in the chat. Where do you live? I've seen it around here a few times. Yeah.
You've seen it really officially hit retail yet?
Yeah, Doctor Strange actually just hit like last week, I think.
Yeah, you know what? I just saw I talked about that earlier in the wave, but I just saw the Doctor Strange wave in my local True for the first time this past week. So
tell this man that cannot find the Spider-Man wave that for some strange reason in my area, I don't know if it's the same in anybody else's area, but I always find that wave at Kmart. Don't know why.
Man,
we were talking about
this video. I mean, people are just swapping out the Doctor Strange wave like crazy. Nobody wants some of those movie figures. They're all just taking the BAF pieces.
Yep.
Mr. Sinister making a cameo in the new Logan film? Probably. He's probably going to be the big bad. I believe the storyline of Logan is, I mean, the Reavers are obviously about like human augmentation or whatever, but if they've been fucking around with Logan's DNA, then I'm sure he's going to be Mr. Sinister. If he's not like the head scientist above whoever this main guy with the robotic arm, the blonde guy, if he's not the guy above him, then he's going to be like, somehow created in the movie.
I forgot the name of that character.
Some way, somehow, they need to reset this universe because it's terrible.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Like, this is the last fucking time that we see, Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. After that, they need to reboot it. Like, new actors on everything. Even dump Sophie Turner, who was just cast as Jean Grey. Dump whatever that other kid's name that played Cyclops. Dump them all. Get rid of all of them. Just start from the ground up. Give us them as adults. Don't worry about like origin stories or any of that. Have them already be a functioning team and just give us a storyline. We've already seen Origins.
I couldn't agree more.
Tired of it.
One of the things about though is that supposedly it takes place in the timeline that was corrected at the end of Days of Future Past.
Yes.
So
yes.
it's a timeline after the mansion is restored and Famke Janssen
It's
and
the true
Martin.
end to the Singerverse. That's why I'm like, it needs to end. Like, let it end.
It's that I think it takes place in like 2025 or something like that, which is only like a couple of years after that ending epilogue that we got in Future Past. So how did Xavier get Alzheimer's and age so much in that short amount of time, and Wolverine as well? How did he lose his healing factor in that time? Like, again,
I'm assuming some sort of a smallpox equivalent for, mutants, something of that nature.
but I think the true answer is that it's the Singerverse, and there might not be an answer at all. You're just gonna have to be okay.
Exactly.
You're just gonna have to sit down and take it.
That's exactly what he told all of the people that would show up to his quote unquote parties.
The pool parties, yes.
Yes.
The ones I would definitely not attend.
The incredible Bryan Singer pool parties.
Good Lord. I can't believe that that's I can believe that that's actually a thing.
All right.
I can believe it, and that's the sad part.
Jeff, question. What franchise should SH Figure Arts take over? Someone, he said Titanfall 1 and 2 would be really good. I'm not sure that would work so much for, those big mechs. I think
It
3A.
wouldn't be
with
SH
any
Figure
mech
Arts.
is-
It would just be another Bandai line, which is called Metal Build.
Yeah, I was about to say, and don't they also have like robot spirits or whatever?
Yeah, there's nobody in the world that does mechs better than Bandai, but it's just not the SH Figure Arts line.
Right.
Yep.
3A has the license for it. I think they're doing something or other.
I'm sure they're just kind of slow, but when they put something up, they eventually do it. They're just slow.
Right. I know that their 1/6 scale power armor from Fallout 4 just came out. Apparently, it's really good. Pretty much what you expect.
Boom. There we go. You heard it from the horse's mouth.
Well, what about some X-Men figures from Figure Arts? That'd be pretty cool.
It'll never. Well, I don't want to say it'll never happen, but it's not going to happen right now because Fox. That's the only reason why.
A
Especially
line that they could take over. You know what I would love with the base body being the Bodycoon. I would love for them to do NBA figures. I mean, Enterbay does it so well.
Ooh, that would be nice, actually.
I would love NBA figures in that scale.
Ooh.
If we could get like a T-Mac, and then if they could give us like a cross-eyed variant, I swear to God, I'd be on it. I'd be on it.
God, cross-eyed variant team, lazy eye T-Mac.
Dude, that was the GOAT. He was the GOAT, man. You don't know where he's looking.
You don't know what he's up to.
T-Mac was fucking nice though.
He was. Like, oh man, he was a hero of mine for sure.
So Deadpool is just now starting to hit. We saw Mashville put up a little write-up review on Plastic and Pain earlier today. Looks like it's about on par. What do we think?
What's that? I didn't hear that. Say that again.
Kawaii Raccoon wants to know about the Revoltech Deadpool and Spider-Man, and I think we talked about that earlier in the show, right?
Yeah. Who put up a review?
Because that's starting to hit. Someone put up a quick little overview. It's good.
Was that Mashville?
It's good.
Out there in Japan?
What's that?
Wasn't that Mash that's out there in Japan that put up a little write-up real quick?
Yeah. He put a little write-up review, and apparently his hotel room is just filled with figures. But I told him to shoot a little segment for A.C.B.A. Saturday.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Definitely. Yeah, I'm sure he's having a blast out there. What's the flight time from Australia to Japan? That's not a.
It's pretty short.
Yeah, it's pretty short, right?
It's a very common trip. Australians going to that part of Asia. Very common.
Australians.
Yeah, mate.
More question for you. Mike Odom wants to know when you're getting an SLR.
Oh, a DSLR maybe?
DSLR.
Huh?
Mike Odom wants to know when you're getting a DSLR, Boog.
Soon. Probably, I guess, around Christmas time. I want to get the camera that Mike Wang recommended.
Canon T3i.
Yes. That CJ and Mike Wang recommended. I'm pretty sure.
It's the perfect introduction to DSLRs.
Yeah,
Yes.
so from what I understand, yes.
And
I'm
then
probably going to be getting that as well.
more probably just for you. When are we going to get Cheddar on the podcast?
we do need to get Cheddar on the podcast, huh?
Man, I'll tell him whenever, and I'm sure he'll come.
That episode though.
You know what? In the new year, we definitely need to get some guests on and do some proper interviews and shit. We just been shooting this shit all fucking year.
Yeah, and not just that, but to address viewers that are going to be wondering, like, why we don't have people. Sometimes these people got busy ass lives, man.
Yeah,
we do it every Sunday, but some people just don't have the time to do it every Sunday.
But
I can assure you though, JC is always off on Sundays, so I'll make sure to have JC on the show at some point. The fucker lives very close to me, so if he doesn't do it, then I'll just go to his house and do it live with him in the same room.
Roll up to his house, man. Start with the kneecaps.
Some legit guests on and like people just to come and chat, and it don't even got to be nothing like mad formal and shit. Just some people to come and just chop it up with us and shit. People from the chat, people from wherever. No man.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. Look at John. He came on as a guest at one point, and we just liked how he felt, so we asked him to come every week.
Right.
Yeah, on here.
I'm so flattered.
Yeah, we do want to get some people on to like legit interview them, but then somebody like Cheddar, we're not about to fucking interview his ass. He's just gonna come shoot the shit with us.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Rick and Fabio, what are your dream WWE Elite figures? Let's take like a couple more here. It's going to be that time. At this point, I really want a Goldberg. I don't have any original release that there might have been, so a new Goldberg figure would be really great. Really stoked on his return.
They never did a WWE Goldberg figure.
Did they, Rick? I'm not aware. I mean,
not an Elite. No.
Oh, really?
Wow.
I didn't think so because he hasn't been in the company for the time that Mattel has had the license.
I see. That's still surprising though.
Wait, isn't Goldberg coming back?
Everybody's number one grail right now in the WWE collecting game is that Jeff Hardy, and just as well, I would love a Jeff Hardy and a Matt Hardy.
Yeah,
we've never gotten them either, and it sucks that we don't have the kings of tables, ladders, and chairs not in that form.
They might be making their comeback to WWE with TNA going under.
Delete.
Exactly. That's exactly what's happening to TNA.
This is genius.
They're getting deleted from television. And Kawhi wants to know about the figurized DBZ figures. They look pretty good. I don't think I've seen anybody with them. Does Pancho have any?
I think
there's been Pancho doesn't have them, but I've seen some people with them. It seems like most people are more interested in the figurized vehicle line, the Frieza and then the space pod. So you're gonna see a lot of people using that and talking about that. I don't know if people really care enough to buy the figures, but if you're interested in the vehicles and the thoughts on those, people are gonna be giving that, I'm sure.
Are they a lower price point?
Yeah, they're lower price point. They're model kits, and honestly, the model kits look really good. I've seen people actually build them, and obviously flat coat them because they come really shiny.
Yeah,
I just read somewhere Bondi is getting rid of model kits. Is that untrue?
I don't know who dude. Let me tell you this right now. I don't know where Pharaoh came up with that. Not now, and not ever will Bondi ever not make model kits. That is never, ever, never, ever going to happen. Never. Nothing even remotely comes as close to making as much money as Gundam does for them.
Yep.
They will never not make model kits. And people that like Gundam, actually, most of them are not fan of toys. They want models. They don't want completed toys. As much as in America we're lazy as fuck and we would just prefer to have the robots done. They're all about model kits. They're purists. Bondi will never stop making model kits. Don't ever believe that rumor. They might stop making some lines. Like if you told me they canceled the Dragon Ball Z line, I'd be like, oh, that makes sense. That kind of stuff I can imagine. But stopping model kits, never, man. Nothing makes them as much money as their model kits. Period. Nothing even comes close.
It's like what? Yeah.
Let's maybe one more question here. What is Well, there's two here, so let's take them both and then be done. How do you feel about kid YouTubers? Anybody follow any of those young kid YouTubers?
No.
I don't really follow like YouTubers, what I'm saying, those people that the quick cuts and the animated they're extra animated when they talk about shit and like that form of YouTube. I'm not really like a big fan of it, honestly. And I don't even know if kid YouTubers are in that category, but I would assume they are. You know what's funny? I was just talking with my man Dave BX the other day because I noticed that kids nowadays are really into YouTube because they'll look up games, they'll look up people that are reviewing Legos and different shit like that. So like people with those type of channels, they are fucking making bank on YouTube.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
the richest kid of YouTube. This kid, he's like the king of Legos and Lego blind bags. This kid, he lives somewhere around here in my area. I think it's been like speculated, and you can kind of come to those numbers because of public access for records and stuff like that. It's estimated that he makes probably like $10 million a year on his YouTube, and he's been doing it for like about 3 years. And obviously, the money's not his; it's his parents that take the money. But he makes a huge amount of money. It's these two.
I don't know if it's that much,
little
though, Rick.
Filipino
That seems a bit steep. 10 million? Nah.
Well, I mean, he
10 million?
averages about 3 to 4 million views per episode.
All right, that's a lot, and
That's fucking wild.
And he makes and there's a new video like at least every day.
all right, so every day he's gonna get 3 million views. I'd
Jesus.
say he's getting. I'd say that they cut in him a check.
Yeah. Oh, keep in mind that also doesn't include tax. So that's just what people speculate pre-tax.
After
I'm sure a
taxes,
lot of
he's
that is
probably on that 5 mil.
Well,
If that's the case.
they actually don't even take out tax when you get your Google check, though. You gotta handle that at the end of the year. You get your shit straight up. So, I'd say they probably cutting him a check every 2 weeks if he's got that many. That he's probably getting a check on a basis like this is his regular job. He might be getting a check every fucking week with that many views. I'm not sure.
That's
Well,
wild.
it depends on what his how he has his money capped off to get his money or whatever. Like they cut you a check at $100. So
Damn.
yeah, that dude PewDiePie makes quite a lot of money as well. I think he's estimated to make like 25 to 30 million a year off endorsements and off of view counts and stuff like that. That's the other thing as well is that these kids get endorsements.
The endorsement, yeah, no question. The product, the free product, like somebody at my level is getting free product. So imagine a motherfucker with 3 million views per episode.
Yeah, I'm assuming what he makes off of YouTube is probably like 2 million a year, and then the rest is just off of product and whatever else. Somebody pays him to wear a T-shirt from a company, for who knows how much and stuff like that.
Free shit. He's getting tons of free shit. Like I said, like at the end of the year, when I look at all the free shit that I've gotten in a year, I'm pretty happy. And I'm nobody. I'm nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I could imagine these people that the free shit is really where it's nuts. Like it's so much free shit that they can't even deal with it. They're giving away so much free shit to their friends. Like I guarantee you, he's getting so much free shit. It's unbelievable.
What's crazy is that there's a guy that's actually in New York, Boog, that started his channel. Well, very actively started his channel about like a year ago. Who's quickly become like the most popular person on YouTube. So, it's crazy how much how quickly you can come up in this YouTube world.
Yep. I mean, man, it's
all about the content, though. Honestly, it's like some of these people with their popularity, it's really not warranted, in my opinion.
Definitely. Some of this shit is just fucking stupid as fuck.
Yeah, I looked it up just now. This kid has almost 4 million subscribers. One video has 2 million, 9 million, 2 million, 1 million, all back-to-back videos. 8 million, 3 million, 1 million, 800 and something thousand. It's crazy. Crazy.
He's getting paper. He's definitely getting paper.
He's making more money right now at his age than probably I will ever make in my entire life.
Yeah, he's getting paper, no question.
That's not fair.
I'm not more power to you if you found a little niche in this YouTube shit and you make yourself a star and you get this AdSense money, then more power to you. I can't hate on it, but I'm also not gonna subscribe to it literally and figuratively. If it's some shit that I think is corny. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not fucking with that
I
shit.
mean, I can understand children obviously like kid YouTubers and stuff, but I don't know. Again, yeah, I feel kind of weird watching like a child emote at me.
Yeah,
For real.
I'm a big YouTube viewer, and I like to check out like popular channels just to see what the buzz is. And I've just personally never run across a kid that that's like the star of a YouTube channel that I've ever cared for their content. It's just all aimed at children. I've
I
never
follow
been interested.
traditional YouTubers. Emergency Awesome is pretty traditional. Very talk to camera style stuff, but generally like when they're either explaining something or providing news or something like that. It's not just. I'm not a big fan of just vlog stuff like this is what I did today, unless it's
Yeah, that shit is fucked. Yeah, I can't stand it.
It's like I
right.
really don't
There's
have time to
only
look at your life like that.
there's only a handful of vloggers I think that do a good job. There's just so many people that do it after it took off as such a popular genre
Mhm.
in YouTube. I think there's only like a couple people that lead interesting enough lives to watch.
Right.
Every
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Isn't
I'm
there
not
like
about
a
to watch the guy that like fucking works at Target and him and his girl like do it yourself videos but also vlogs. I'm not about to watch that shit. There's like three guys that live actually interesting lives that that do all these cool shit every day. Those guys are very different from Joe and Margaret that run like a ramen channel that also do vlogs. I don't want nothing to do with that shit.
for real?
And then one final question: what is everyone's second favorite toy line?
Second favorite?
Yeah.
Well, considering like we purchased Marvel Legends at like a stupid rate, so for us to say that it's not our favorite kind of is in contradiction to what our wallets would say.
Right.
But I
Well,
would say that
assuming that Marvel Legends are your number one.
number two would probably be, I guess, I mean, if just holistically SHF, I guess that's like, is that a line or is that just like a subsidiary of like a company?
I
I
guess
don't
that's kind of the brand, but like, yeah, if you want to say line, you would have to, I guess, pick one of
know.
their.
SHF, Star
It's
Wars,
not
maybe, I guess.
say
Right.
either Predator or Alien or something.
Yeah, SHF, Star Wars, I suppose.
Yeah, I might
I
have.
guess it would I guess it would have to be just the Transformers in general.
Oh shit, we
I don't.
didn't talk about the fucking Megatron, did we?
Oh yeah, shit, man, Megatron. Yeah, I don't.
Masterpiece.
I don't.
Tits.
I don't know what's gonna happen with this Megatron, man. I mean, a lot of people, a lot of people now in the U.S. order all their Transformers through Ami because number one, it's cheaper, and number two, you get it quicker than anyone else. But I don't know. I don't know if this figure doesn't come packaged in the box in robot mode. Boom, I don't think we're gonna get it. If this is packaged in gun mode, I don't think they're gonna offer it to the United States. I really fucking hope they give it to us in robot mode.
Well, what I've seen so far, shit looks amazing.
Yeah.
Oh man, looks incredible. It's like I tell people, man, they all think that I'm like some Takara loyalist, like I'm just some Takara ass kisser. But dude, Takara's gonna make everything anyways, and when they finally come out with the version of the figure that you wanted, you're gonna feel stupid for buying anything else.
Yeah, that's kind of what keeps me from getting Transformers, but I might honestly get this MP Megatron because it looks super nice, and I only want Megatron and Optimus Prime. That is it. I promise I'm going to stop there. I do have to ask, though, what's the difference between some of those masterpieces, like, say, that one, and what I'm seeing at Toys R Us in stores now? Like, there's a masterpiece, Bumblebee, I think, right now.
Usually, it's
Nothing.
just slight
Color.
difference. Don't say
Yeah.
nothing. Usually, it's some very minor, slight difference. Sometimes it
Man,
matters to some people.
it's typically
No.
something as simple as a color
Yeah,
variation.
it could be the
It's
color.
really not much.
It could be the color of the eyes or something like that. It could be something very simple.
For the common collector, it's not going to be a big deal. If you're really about like, accuracy and you want this shit to be 100% and you remember exactly how the fucking cartoon looked, pretty much always Takara's at top, even though they're not accurate themselves. They're always the closest as compared to their Hasbro release. There's the biggest difference that we had was Soundwave coming with all of his tapes and the Takara
Right.
one coming with only one tape.
Yep.
But very, very typically, it's just a simple, like, this paint app isn't present on this one, but it is on the other one. It's usually fairly simple, but they are known to switch it up sometimes and have more with a release.
This Megatron is going to be the last MP that I get of villains, so I'm really looking forward to that. I already got. Well, I'm lying. I still got to get the Toys R Us version of Skywarp when they ever release that. So I'll have the 3 Seekers. I got Soundwave. I've got Shockwave, and I'll get Megatron. That'll be it for me for those guys. I'll be happy with that.
Did they ever release a Starscream?
Yeah, you know
Yes.
what? They did the Starscream, and it was not out there in abundance. I got really lucky, and my man Dave caught the case early on a Saturday when they restocked and shit, and copped one for me and one for himself. And so yeah, I've got Starscream, I've got Thundercracker, which I got a long time ago for the Toys R Us version, and now I'm just waiting for them to do Skywarp in that version, the updated version where they stand better in robot mode. There was something that they changed with the
I mean, the biggest thing was those big ass saddles on the side of them. Those big ass holsters.
So right, so yeah, so they updated that with the Toys R Us version, and they're better. So hopefully we'll get Skywarp. Is it Skywarp? Yeah, Skywarp. And I'll have the 3 regular Seekers. I'll be cool with that. Megatron.
Well, let's wrap it up here because it's almost 8 o'clock. We're almost going 4 hours here. It's crazy.
Boom.
All right, so yeah, we wrapping it up, y'all. I just dropped Main Course 99. Please check out that video, and also check out the description of that video. I've got a little link for a GoFundMe for one of my coworkers who was diagnosed with testicular cancer, and he already had to have one of his testicles removed, but the cancer had spread to like his lower abdomen, and there's some cost associated with that. Obviously, if you are tuning in from outside of America, in America, our fucking healthcare is on some other shit. So it's super duper expensive, and if you don't have the right insurance, your insurance may cover some shit, but then you may still be coming out of pocket crazy, and it's nuts. So yeah, his family set up a GoFundMe to help pay for those costs, and this is somebody that I work with, see every day, and so I said, you know what, let me try to use my whatever little audience that I have to maybe help them raise some of the funds. They've raised quite a bit of money already. I think like 17 or 18 grand or something like that out of the 25 grand that they're trying to get. So that's not fucking bad. So yeah, check out Main Course 99. Check out the link for John's for my boy, not this John, not our John, but yeah, check out the link for John's GoFundMe. There's also a link for like his YouTube where he's kind of doing like I guess a vlog, kind of like documenting this whole process of the surgery and the chemo and all of that shit. So you can see, it's 100% legit. I'm not really like getting involved to like do anything to raise shit on my own or like offering anything like that. I'm just directing people straight to it. So if you fuck with me and you just want to do something nice and you want to just throw down a little something, then that would be cool. But yeah, follow me on Instagram, Boog_A.C.B.A. That's BOOG_A.C.B.A. and follow the A.C.B.A. Instagram, which is at Articulated Comic Book Art. And that's all I gotta say for this week.
And they call me Colonel Crackers on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Reddit, and Steam. You can listen to me on the Raw Live and Unedited Podcasting Network. We are doing our big, season premiere or whatever of the Podcasting Dead. That's going to be going live on Tuesdays. We'll be giving our thoughts on the new episode, which is airing probably as we speak right now, right? At least on your coast. And stay tuned for that. Other than that, I don't really have a lot going on except we're doing some displays for Doctor Strange at the movie theater, me and the Beltran brothers. So look for that. We'll get some pictures of that going up pretty soon. And Stan Lee's Kamikaze, or LA's Comic-Con, I guess it's called now. A good amount of the A.C.B.A. people from down here in SoCal are going to be there. So if you're going to Stan Lee's Kamikaze, hit us up, and maybe we can meet up and do a big thing out there as a big group. Go out to lunch, just kick it at the con in general. That's next weekend. Pretty excited.
Sad face, I will not be able to go.
Oh, John.
Well, I'm RickDom2345 on Instagram. Emiya can't be here, but he's Emiya Starlock. We do another podcast that's just related to all Japanese things and anime, figures, whatever, you name it. If it's a hot topic in Japan or it's Japanese related and it's a hot topic, we'll pretty much definitely touch on it. We haven't done one recently because, this fucker goes to cons and, I've just been busy too. So, I mean, maybe we'll do one this week or the week after. We're called JPIA The Live. Look us up on the YouTube, and keep checking out this podcast. Hopefully we'll have more guests on soon. I'm sure we could get JC on at some point pretty soon. That I know that bastard doesn't work on Sunday, so he has no excuse, people. John?
You guys can follow me at Endternet. That's ENDTERNET on Instagram. Just follow me there. You guys know what I post. Come on, guys. Have a good weekend and stay safe, and remember to always use a raincoat.
Absolutely. All right, kids. Until next week, we out of here. Peace.
Later.